Monday morning, America. I'm Vanessa Broussard reporting to you live from New York City, right in front of Trump Tower as we wait for this historic day to begin, where President Donald J. Trump will be appearing in court here in Manhattan, charged with 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. President Trump has denied any wrongdoing and has pled not guilty. You're looking at live pictures from the side of Trump Tower, and we're going to keep this shot for you because these are the doors that President Trump should be exiting in about 10 minutes or less as he makes his way about 20 minutes down the road to the Supreme Court building. That's where we have Brian Glenn, so stay with Right Side Broadcasting Network throughout the day for team coverage. Again, I'm Vanessa Broussard. We will be stationed here outside of Trump Tower today, and we also have Brian Glenn outside of the courthouse building, so we'll be going back and forth to bring you the very latest of what's going on day one on what could be up to an 8-week trial, and this is a federal charge against President Trump, so he is required to be in court every single day of this court case. Before we get into the big news of the day and more details of what this court case entails, we want to remind you that times are tough in this economy. A lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck, not being able to save a dime. So if you want to save for your future, don't stress about it any longer. Contact the Birch Gold Group. That information is on your screen. You can text the word Trump to 989898. Birch Gold has a 5-star rating, A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Thousands of satisfied customers. You know, when you hear about investing money, you may automatically think that you have to put in a lot of money for something like this, but that's not necessarily the case. So even if you decide just to put in a little extra cash you may have on the side, that's where the Birch Gold Group comes into play, and they will definitely get you on the right path to start saving for your future. Again, that's the Birch Gold Group. Invest for your future, for yourself, for your family. Text the word Trump to 989898. That's the Birch Gold Group, and you'll get a free information kit, and a representative will call you to talk about the best plan that fits you. Okay, so we are on the other side of 5th Avenue, and as you can see, it's going to be tough. This is where the media is set up. Tough to get that shot of President Trump as you see the traffic passing by. We're in a corner, just to give you an idea of where we're standing. We're in the corner of 5th Avenue and East 56th Street. This is an intersection now. Police have blocked off traffic on both sides of Trump Tower, but not in the front of Trump Tower. So you will still see cars driving by, but hopefully they'll be at a stoplight when President Trump comes out. You can see members of his team already getting prepared for today's court case to begin. Now, today is jury selection. Jury selection begins today in that courtroom. This isn't a jury selection that will end today. It will not end tomorrow. We're expecting jury selection to last days, even weeks, because this is a high-profile case, so jury selection is very important in this case. Now, remember where we are. We're in New York City. We're in Manhattan. In 2016, President Trump won only 10% of the vote from Manhattan. In 2020, he earned 12% of the vote in Manhattan, and that goes with President Trump's defense. They are saying, can he get a fair trial in New York? Because the jurors must be a resident of Manhattan, they must speak English, and they will be asked multiple questions today, up to 40 questions they will be asked. Now, how does it play out? They will go into the courtroom, about 100 people at a time, and thoroughly asked questions. One of those questions may be, do you follow President Trump on social media? Have you followed this case? Well, Donald Trump is the most high-profile man in the world, and there's not one person in the world that does not know about these allegations against him. So it's going to be really tough to get down to the fairness, the true fairness of this trial, and also have these jurors, when they are picked, not look at any news, watch any news, read any news, and stay off social media for an up to 8-week period. So they have to be very careful during this jury selection process. Again, how it works is that hundreds will go in at a time, maybe 100 at a time, and they will be asked a series of questions by both the defense and the prosecution. Now, they are only known by number to the public. 12 jurors and some alternates will be chosen. 6 alternates will be chosen. Only known by number to the public. The only people who will know their names are the defense, the prosecution, President Trump, and the judge. That is it. Everyone else will only know each juror by number when that juror is decided and when a jury of 12 is decided. We'll talk more about that coming up, but again, we're just minutes away, if not seconds away, from President Trump making his way to court. It starts at 9 o'clock Eastern. He is set to leave Trump Tower here on 5th Avenue in New York City at 8:30 this morning, so that could be any minute now. We are keeping a steady shot of the exit in hopes of getting President Trump. We have some very frustrated news media outlets around us right now because of the high traffic going in and out that may block our shot. But hopefully we'll get a good shot for you here live on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Now, you can't see this right now, but I'll tell you that to my right, there already is a crowd of people, supporters of President Trump, gathering in hopes to get a glimpse of the former president, maybe get a wave, maybe get a hello from the former president as he exits the building. And that could be just minutes away. Again, on the corner of 5th Avenue and East 56th Street, here in the heart of Manhattan. Now, Trump Tower, if you've never been to New York City, Trump Tower is right in the middle of the high-profile shopping designers, I guess I could call it. You have Dolce & Gabbana, you have Gucci, you have all of these classy designers who are in the middle and surround Trump Tower. Armani, Prada, Tiffany & Company is right next door. I was inside Trump Tower yesterday. A lot of supporters were inside eating and shopping. A lot of people from Democrat-run cities and states that I spoke to who are here in support of President Trump. And that's always good to see and good to talk to these people about coming and visiting not just New York, but Trump Tower, and knowing that there are supporters even in these Democrat-run states. I met a family from California who is not happy with Governor Newsom and what he has done to the state, and they're huge supporters of President Trump. They were actually going to come this morning. They should be here on this corner watching for President Trump as well. So a lot of different supporters who are here being tourists are stopping in this morning to see the former president, the first former president to stand trial in a criminal case. So this is yet another historic event for President Trump. This is a historic day in our nation's history, modern day history. Again, he is charged with 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. Now, what does that mean? It carries up to 4 years in prison if convicted. Now, whether he'll spend time in jail, that's not up to the jury. That's up to the judge. So the jury will decide if he's guilty or not guilty. And if he is found guilty, the sentencing phase is up to the judge. Now, President Trump has been very vocal about the judge. Judge Merchan, who he claims is very biased and has a daughter who has ties to the Democratic Party. So just how fair will this trial be? Can President Trump have a fair trial in New York City? He was on Truth Social posting last night, also posting this morning. As you know, in the last couple of weeks, he has been under a gag order where he is not allowed to talk about the specifics of this case. But it seems like the people of America know better. Just this past weekend in Pennsylvania, President Trump had a crowd of 42,000 people in Schnecksville, Pennsylvania, come to see him and support him as we get prepared for what could be a very busy, interesting 6 to 8 weeks ahead. Of course, Right Side Broadcasting Network is going to bring you all the latest information on air and on our website, rsbnetwork.com. You can follow us on social media for all the latest information from this trial, as well as we continue to cover the very latest for you. Now, these charges involved have to deal with prosecutors saying that President Trump secretly buried allegations of having an extramarital affair with porn star at the time, Stormy Daniels. Again, President Trump has denied having any sexual encounters with Stormy Daniels. And again, he pleaded not guilty on April 4th of last year to the charges being brought against him today. Now, looking at these 34 charges as we wait for President Trump to exit Trump Tower, looking more at these charges, Judge Bragg, who is pretty much over the charges, he has charged him with felonies. Now, typically in this case, falsifying business records would be a misdemeanor. The DOJ investigated. They found no wrongdoing. So what would typically be considered a misdemeanor, Judge Bragg says, well, I'm going to come up with my own rules, and this will be felonies. So he's facing felonies, which anyone else would be facing misdemeanors. So again, President Trump is saying straight out of the gates, this is unfair, this is a witch hunt, this is a sham trial, this case should be dropped, I did nothing wrong. And we'll see if his attorneys fight that in court, that this should be a misdemeanor case, not a felony case. And I'm sure that will be brought up in the coming weeks ahead. Also, in this case, the statute of limitations have passed. President Trump says, if I did any wrongdoing, why didn't you come after me years ago? You waited until I was in the middle of my election and that I'm winning. I'm the presumptive Republican nominee for November, and I am beating my opponent in the polls. So you're clearly coming after me to keep me off the campaign trail, and also saying that this is election interference. So a lot of claims from President Trump about how unfair this case is being brought against him. Now, this also has to do with his former lawyer, his former attorney, Michael Cohen, who has pleaded guilty in the past. He has served jail time. And he is expected to testify in this case, as well as Stormy Daniels. As we wait for President Trump to exit Trump Tower, I want to remind you, with COVID still a concern with many Americans and other sicknesses as well. That's where the wellness company comes in. Make sure you have an emergency kit at your disposal in your house. I have one. It's come in handy, and I'm glad I had it when I needed it. So make sure you get a wellness company kit. Go to makecaregreatagain.com. This is from Dr. Peter McCullough and a team of doctors that used to treat President Trump. Wonderful doctors who came up with this emergency medical kit to help Americans in the time of sickness. That way you don't have to wait for a doctor's appointment or try to get medication that's not readily available. It can be if you have this medical emergency kit inside your household. So go to makecaregreatagain.com. Put in the RSBN code for a discount, and you'll have some prescriptions at your disposal. Now, it works just like a doctor's office, a new patient at a doctor's office. You have to fill out a questionnaire, what you're allergic to, all of your information, and they'll look at that and then send your medical emergency kit. Again, that's makecaregreatagain.com. Use the code RSBN for a discount. All right, it's now 8:35. President Trump should be walking out any moment now. He has to be in the courtroom at 9, and that's about a 20-minute drive from where we're standing. So he should be coming out, because we would hate for him to be late for court on day one. So keep your eye to the screen, because we're expecting President Trump any minute now. And as we wait, you'll see me or hear me get quiet for a bit as we try to listen in as well on when to expect President Trump to walk out. The side entrance of Trump Tower, we're standing right in front of the iconic Trump Tower in New York City on 5th Avenue. Now, interesting enough, they are still allowing some people to walk in front of Trump Tower, but the sides of the tower are shut down. People are still trying to get through, but police are saying no, you have to walk around this morning. Again, we're across the street. Media is set up across the street from Trump Tower at the corner of 5th Avenue and East 56th Street. Traffic is still allowed to pass through in front of the tower, not on the sides, where President Trump will be exiting any moment now. You can see police cars. They are in front of Trump Tower, about 5 police cars in front of Trump Tower. You have several police cars on the side, and you have multiple police officers, some of New York's finest, surrounding this entire block with barricades. There are people standing outside of Trump Tower, which is a clear indication that the president should be walking out any second now. He will enter one of the vehicles on the side, and then his motorcade will drive him to the courthouse, where our Brian Glenn is standing by. And again, that's about a 20-minute drive, with court starting at 9 o'clock. And we're nearing 8:40 a.m. here in New York. Standing by as we wait for President Donald J. Trump. A historic day. The first time a former president has stood trial on criminal charges. His team in the last couple of weeks has tried to get this trial delayed, dealing with the gag order and other circumstances in the case. Each time they tried to appeal the date the judge denied the appeal. So here we are today, April 15th, tax day, the start of President Trump's criminal trial, where jury selection is set to begin at 9 a.m. We're going to stand back a little bit and listen in as we wait and see people walking out of the building. We just got a view of Secret Service walking out as they stand guard outside the exits awaiting the president. And as luck would have it, right as we wait for the president, any second now, we have a couple of city buses passing by.
Yeah! Trump! Woo! We love you!
All right, President Trump is now in the motorcade. We'll wait for these city buses to pass so you can get a closer glimpse. He did have a wave to the crowd of supporters shouting, "We love you," as he walked outside of Trump Tower. A couple of more buses to pass us, and then we'll take another listen in as President Trump exits Trump Tower on 5th Avenue, heading to court. And that's where our Brian Glenn will be. And we'll let you listen in to the sights and sounds from right here at Trump Tower as, again, President Trump makes his way to court. All right, so we are blocked from view right now, and standing next to me was a family from France with their two little ones, a little daughter and a little boy, getting a glimpse of President Trump. I'm here now with the family. We're off camera because we're still looking at this shot, but how important was this? It was random, you just told me.
For sure. No, I mean, I think this is a great opportunity for us. It will be a nice souvenir for our vacation, and we're very glad we had the chance to see him in person after all these years, seeing him only on TV.
Yes, you said you're impartial. You are from France, but you're impartial to the election process. But your kids were here standing right next to me. You'll get to tell them one day when they grow up. You got to witness a day in history.
For sure. I mean, we realize how important this election will be for the whole world and for Europe also. So I think this is an opportunity for us to witness this moment that will make history.
Absolutely. Well, enjoy your trip to New York City. Thank you for talking to us, and have a safe trip. Thank you. All right. So you have people here from all over the world. And the couple we just spoke to, they're here with their kids. They were just walking by, asked earlier, what's the media set up here for? We said President Trump, and they stood right by us and watched. And like you just heard the man say, this is a great souvenir that he'll be able to tell his kids about one day when they get older and get to tell them that they viewed a day in history and got to see and witness President Trump. Hey, again, we want to thank some of our sponsors today. This one is coming to you from Texas, Spring, Texas, not too far from where I live. AnglePaste. And when I'm telling you, it is angelic, it really is. It's a miracle cream that transforms your skin, healthy skin, natural looking skin. Not only is it made in Spring, Texas, everything is sourced in the United States of America. AnglePaste also sticks to America first by hiring veterans. Another reason for you to buy this paste. It's unlike any cream on the market. It contains 0 chemicals and hydrates your skin without feeling greasy. As a woman, don't you hate that when you put products on your skin and it just doesn't feel right? Well, AnglePaste is coming to the rescue. Many customers have reported younger looking skin, fewer wrinkles, lightening of age spots, healing of burns and bruises. Tons of satisfied customers writing in saying how wonderful AnglePaste is. So get the miracle cream everyone is talking about. That's AnglePaste Miracle Cream. Your skin will drink it up and you will love it. Use the promo code RSBN on anglepaste.com. Again, that's anglepaste.com. Use the code RSBN for a discount and enjoy looking younger with AnglePaste cream. Okay, I'm Vanessa Broussard. So good to join you here from New York City today. Usually New York City is a fun place to visit, but this is a solemn visit for us as we are making history today in this trial for President Trump. We're going to send it over now to Brian Glenn, who is live at the courthouse where President Trump is heading. Brian, what's it looking like over there?
All right, thank you, Vanessa, as we are live here in front of the courthouse here in New York City. Now, I'm going to walk here in a few minutes and show you the amount of media that has really popped up, I would say, in the last 6 hours. As of last night, they weren't here. Obviously, a lot of this media from around the world has show up to cover day one of this trial. Now, it's expected that the jury selection is going to take obviously several days. It could even take a week or so to get all of the jury selected. Over 500 people have been called to potentially sit on this trial. It was interesting, some of the questions that were going to be asked in the jury selection process, and a lot of it is, where do you get your media? Where do you, are you on Truth Social? And we can all agree that none of us think that President Trump will be able to find a jury of his peers here in New York City based upon, I would say, the very toxic nature of this city by itself and the way they have, gone after President Trump, the district attorney, all the way up to the judges, and just really the whole political, or I should say judicial system here in New York City has not really follow the lay of the land as far as the law is speaking. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of days, but we're glad that you're joining us on this historic day. I mean, this is the first time a former president has been in court for a criminal case, and so we're here. Vanessa Broussard obviously is posted up outside Trump Tower and will bring us any kind of developments that happen over there throughout the course of the next several hours. So it's scheduled to be in court at 9 a.m. this morning, and of course it's about 15. I've been told it's about a 15-minute drive from where Vanessa was at Trump Tower to here to the courthouse. Obviously, they have a lot of police presence here. I would imagine a lot of the streets in this area have been closed down, like very much like we see during these OTRs, and he'll make his way over here. So to unpack what he's being accused of, and I was talking to another reporter from a network just moments before we came on, and it's kind of an interesting scenario because everything on the statute of limitations has expired on just about every accusation in regards to this trial. So when you kind of look on the basis that should it even take place, that's a huge question right now. And that does bring up, the next thought that, well, this is nothing but a weaponization of our legal system upon the former president. This is Biden's witch hunt. This is what this is. It's a Biden's trial. It's his ability, or his effort right now to take President Trump off the campaign trail. So the trial here will be a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday deal. He's off Wednesdays and Fridays. So, and we were talking to several people beforehand, and they were like, well, if he's not on the campaign trail, this lawsuit and just being tied up in court, it's a criminal case here in the state of New York, so he's required to be here every day in court. But what this does is it does essentially take him off the campaign trail during the week. But what I'm about to prove to you is this essentially is a campaign stop with the amount of media that is posted up here in front of the courthouse, and we'll do that here in just a second. But welcome everyone watching us right now. We're live here in New York City. You can follow me on social media, because when we're not on the air, when we have breaks, we talk back to Vanessa, I'm going to be posting up some behind the scenes stuff here that you might not have been able to catch on air. Today's going to have a lot of information coming out to you fairly quickly. You can follow me at Brian Glenn TV across the board. Now, this is a terrible case that should never even brought up. It can only be proved by Michael Cohen and his words. And so a lot of people have said, well, do you even trust Michael Cohen anyway? And this is all about the hush money, the money that supposedly was given to Stormy Daniels for an apparent affair between her and President Trump, which he adamantly denies happened. So this was the hush money, and it was not disclosed on any kind of form as hush money. And Michael Cohen would testify that did not even tell President Trump what it was about. And I even read something that Stormy Daniels herself denied having an affair with President Trump. So when you kind of look at all the facts here, and you look at even the statute of limitations and some of the facts in the case, not the opinions, not the the political agenda, there is no case here. This is a big nothing burger in terms of what they're accusing the president of. And so we're going to find out. The trial is supposed to last perhaps 5 to 7 weeks. From start to finish. Now, the trial itself could last about 3 weeks total. So, and it's required to be there from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. So President Trump required to be in the court. But let me step aside, and we'll walk here in just a second. But I do want to show you the amount of media. Now, this kind of explain what these buildings are. There's some white correctional buses here. This is the entry where they would bring, if they out on the street and they arrest certain individuals. This is pretty much where they would process them. These buses pull in and they back in down below. We've seen them come and go throughout the day. Now, the actual courthouse itself is on the other side of the street. There is an American flag pole that's up on there. That is the actual courthouse itself. There's a media presence there, but the majority of that is right here. And if I was to compare what I saw last time when we were here for his indictment, if you want to see what that looked like, you can go into my Instagram account at Brian Glenn TV, look at my stories, and there's a nice little timeline there. You'll see exactly what that looks like. Much more media here. Now, I'm going to avoid this person walking up because earlier she tried to stop me and talk. So if you see me walk on, that's exactly what I'm going to do. But the media presence here is large. There's media from not only the city of New York, as you would expect, not only is a national media here, as you would expect, every outlet, obviously every conservative outlet as well, but international media, Japan, South America, France, Germany, UK, it's all here covering this trial. And so it's one of those examples of how big this story is in this country. I was talking to another reporter earlier, and he said that they had gone over to Europe for a couple of weeks, and all they kept talking about is they were obsessed with our political structure here, with President Trump, and what's going on, all the media around President Trump. So this is very much not only a national story, but this is a global story as well. Okay, so I tell you what, let's take a walk here, and let's go ahead. I want to keep the camera on the media so you have an idea. So when I'm walking here and I'm telling you what we're seeing, this is it. This is absolutely the story, not only of the day, but it could potentially be the story of the next couple of weeks. Now, when you look at all the other news making the headlines right now, of course you have the war, the violence that have basically broke out during over the weekend between Iran and Israel. You've got that major story. But what I'm seeing in the news feeds, obviously, is the dominance presence of this trial and what's going on right now. So this obviously is the much bigger story at this point. So taking a live look, we'll post up right here just for a second. This is Collect Pond Park. It is directly in front of the courthouse, obviously, and behind the media that is set up here. This is where we've had some organized protests. Now, they've got basically two sides divided. We'll get in there here in just a second and talk about that, but they've got two sides divided. They've got obviously a pro-Trump side, and they've got a side that is obviously an anti-Trump approach. So far, it looks like very few people, maybe mostly media probably, is assembled in the anti-Trump side. The pro-Trump side has got some people that are carrying flags, obviously, very vocal and visual. They've even got a couple people walking around with a bullhorn. So I want to warn people right now that the last time we did Trump's indictment on day one, the coverage that we had from this park, it can get heated. It can get the language you're probably going to hear on an open mic, not from me, but on an open mic. I can't avoid that. It's chances are it's going to happen. So I just want to warn everybody at home, if you obviously are sensitive to language like that, a foul language, you might not want to watch us today, or at least bite your tongue. So we'll, just to kind of warn you on that, there's some characters that we were often talking about who shows up to these protests, and this is one of the things that I think that we do as a network. Obviously, we cover all the events around President Trump. We also cover, the protesters. I want to exactly see, why these people dislike the president and why they're here, and perhaps we can even give them some information. Perhaps they can change their mind. But I call them a cast of characters, and these are people that, in my opinion, are almost paid to show up to events like this and cause havoc. So you're going to see some stuff, you're going to hear some stuff that you're likely going to offend you, but I'm just going to warn you up top. Let's talk about taxes. Today is April 15th. Today is tax day, and so today is a day that everyone either file your taxes or you can ask for an extension. But if you owe back taxes, there is someone that can help on that. Tax Network USA. Tax Network USA. Go check it out. Today's a big day. The information is on your screen. It doesn't matter if you haven't paid your taxes in 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, or that amount is $1,000, $10,000, $100,000. They can simply help you out on that. Tax Network USA. Go check it out. Information on your screen. They are trusted. They can help get you away from that anxiety of owing back taxes. Tax Network USA. Okay, so as far as getting inside this particular area, it's going to require us to kind of walk around this bike rack and come in. So just to let you guys know that it might, as we transition, we might have the camera might be compromised at a couple times just getting through there. We're going to go and continue to walk on by here. But this trial has been obviously, the last, couple of months when you look at the nonstop, not only this one but all the documents trial. You've got the Mar-a-Lago, kind of the Mar-a-Lago trial and the real estate case as well. Like, all of these have been in hopes of being a major distractor for the president off the campaign trail. But in fact, what I have found, and what it is almost, for the most part, provable, that his popularity has increased, his polling is gone up, his campaign donations have increased. So, if anything, this has been an outlet that President Trump has been able to, I wouldn't say campaign off of, but has been able to help him with the narrative of how he's being targeted by the FBI, the DOJ, and then some of the district attorneys here in New York. Okay, so here, the courthouse is right there, right in front of us, state of New York. And of course, this the court's buildings and things are aside. I do see, I don't know if we can get a good shot of that. Let's see if we can walk over here, Joe. I think we might have an opportunity to get a shot. Okay. Get right over there. The pen. We've been told we got to move, I guess. In the pen. So is this the pen? Let's just stay right here for a second. So basically, I guess they don't want us over there be able to show the in or outs, as far as the entryway of President Trump for that. So for security purposes, I understand that. We're going to end up, let's go ahead and show this way. This is where we're going to end up. This is Collect Pond Park. So far we've got just a handful of protesters or supporters, I guess, at this point here in this park. Obviously, someone with a bullhorn is over that way, and I'm not sure exactly what they're saying on that. By the reaction of the police officers just now, I would probably expect that President Trump is intimate in this area, and that's why a lot of these guys are targeting their cameras over there, and that's why the Secret Service obviously wanted us to get out of that way. So quite can understand that. I can obviously understand why, for security purposes. But when you look at this case also, let's go over some of the other facts on this case. This has been what called a witch hunt from day one. But he's being charged with filing a false business filing for false business filing. A low-level controller wrote on Trump's personal records a retainer agreement. So there's been essentially no proof that what is claimed has ever happened. That it's been this hush money has been some type of just a payment that was made. It wasn't very specific to who or what it was for. It was just a retainer agreement. So the facts on it don't lead up to why this is happening right now. And so, you take a look at this case and all the other cases, President Trump has very much been taken off of this campaign trail, at least during the week. But like I said earlier, this is, for the most part, a campaign for President Trump. This is exactly what it is. All right, let's see if we can walk back this way now, because I want to make sure we get over. Once he goes inside, I think we're going to be able to have clear to go over this way. Just pause me just for a second. I'm just trying to. Okay. Once President Trump is in this area is secure, we will be able to enter back around this way. But I don't want to go that way yet. Let's go ahead and walk back that way, Joe, and get back to where we were. Like I said earlier, guys, this is a fluid area. Obviously, it's a situation where the security is high, and they are trying to, for the most part, control some of the visuals, which I completely understand. So we're going to get back in the get back in the area where we are secure and we can comply with state, local, and federal requirements right now for media, and that we don't compromise anything. But there's several choppers, news choppers in the sky. I mean, if you think about the presence, the media presence that's here right now, and then you take a look at, we can probably just post up here for a little bit. I think this is safe to say. Think about the amount of people that have to basically go to work. Some of these people here not only are going in the courthouse, but there's also a media entrance here as well. I saw a couple of reporters that are going inside. I know that there's a handful of slots for certain networks to have people inside the courthouse. So that I would imagine these people are lined up for that. But this is an event here in New York City. I mean, obviously New York is not, have had their share of attention and events in the city. But this, as far as legal cases goes, has got to be something that's historic, that we've never had a former president face a criminal case like this ever. And of course, it's happening in New York. So that's why the media frenzy, we got some helicopters above that are going over us. So, I wanted, when we got it into this broadcast, I wanted to give you guys a feel of what it's like to be here at Collect Pond Park in front of the courthouse, and just kind of give you an essence of the feel. I expect this place behind me, as the morning goes on, to really fill up, because this is where you're going to get the supporters that come out. And just before we came on the air, a guy was walking by, and he said, lock him up, he's guilty. So I stopped him, and I said, well, why do you think he's guilty? And he said, well, he's done this, he's done that. I said, well, he says that he didn't, and there's proof that he didn't happen, and said that's why he's having his day in court. He said, well, he's guilty. So it made me think, is it possible for President Trump to even get a jury of his peers for this court case? And if you've got this overwhelming tone in New York City that's very much against the president, I'm not even sure that it's possible to find 12 people. Now they're going to go through hundreds. I've been told they're going to go through about 500 jurors or potential jurors to get down to the 12, and it could take weeks. Now, obviously, it could, once they find that, then it could take maybe 3 weeks for the total trial itself to take place. But when you look at just how vile things are here, and earlier we had the one lady that was running around indiscriminately screaming at people, which, by the way, that is what normally happens around here. It makes you think this is kind of the jury pool that they have to select from in New York City. Now, I will say this: on Sunday morning, we drove from Philadelphia area, from that rally on Saturday night, to New York City, and I spent the day yesterday exploring, the city, and kind of staying around this area for the most part. I got to say, I thought I would see more homeless situation here. I thought I would see a little bit more chaos on the streets than from what I've been told, and I didn't see as much as I thought I would. So at least if Mayor Eric Adams has cleaned up certain parts of the city, perhaps, or maybe that's been shifted to other areas of the city. But from what I see, that you still have some of the, I would say, people that have mental illness walking the streets, not homeless, but mental illness walking the street, yelling at people and kind of acting crazy. I've still seen those, but not to the degree that I was told was here. So, which is a good thing. So if you live in New York City, it looks like they're trying to clean this city up a little bit. Now, I will say this: we've often seen stories of migrants that have been shipped to New York City and all across this country, and I did see in pockets large groups of Hispanic males, majority, almost 100% Hispanic males, and also have seen a lot of people that have come from West Africa, Northern Africa, in just packs, if you would. So, and it looks like they have the bags with them. So they essentially have been, they got on an airplane. They were just the story that we've been told is happening. You do see them in pockets around the city, but as far as the homeless, I know they have it, but it's from what I can see, it looks like it's a little better than it was. All right, there it is. Let's show the current status. I think whenever we get clearance that President Trump has entered the building, we will attempt to walk around that other side. But as you can see earlier, a few minutes ago, we absolutely got shut down, and we don't want to violate anything like that. The district attorney is going to try and claim that $35,000 was a month was what Trump was paying Michael Cohen, and it was a payback for paying Stormy Daniels, and what he paid Cohen and Daniels don't simply add up mathematically. So there's a lot of evidence in this case that they claim is evidence that doesn't necessarily make sense. And so that's why when you look at the facts in this case, a lot of people kind of scratch their head. But this is purely political. This is election interference. This is meant to take President Trump off the campaign trail, get him distracted. And of course, you have a financial aspect to all of this. We saw the original bill of the almost $500 million was reduced to, I think, $145 million that he was able to pay. This is an example of election interference. When you look at the polling in this country, and you look at overwhelmingly who this country supports. Now, we just came off a huge MAGA rally on Saturday night outside Philadelphia, where we had tens of thousands of people standing out there in a very cold field. And you look around and you see that, and you kind of look and you see the lack of enthusiasm for President Biden. One has to think, who does America support? And the policies, obviously, we see the effects of the fiscal policies. We see the effects of an open border. We see the effects of really a lack of foreign policy from President Biden, which is resulting in all of these, events around the world. So when you look at the enthusiasm level, it's high. The polling head-to-head for President Trump versus Biden, Trump is leading almost in every instance in every state. So the polling is there, the support is there. So this is their way to try and take a little bit of enthusiasm off of President Trump and trying to deflect and control the narrative. Because I can assure you that the majority of the people, the media here today, already has a preconceived notion that President Trump is guilty of what he's been accused of, and President Trump should do time, jail time. And of course, there is some requirements that if he is found guilty, and since this is a state case and not a federal case, that if he was to win the White House this year, that could he pardon himself. And I don't think that would apply on the state course. I got to get I got to recheck that claim, but this is an attempt to take him off the campaign trail because they know that he's absolutely dominating. Hey, I want to talk about our partners over at the Birch Gold Group. We have been traveling across this country. We've got great partners like you that have been with us from day one with this network, but we've also got great companies like the Birch Gold Group that have also partnered up with us to help us do what we're doing now, bringing you continuous coverage of not only the rallies, but everything outside the rallies. So look at your finances, look at your retirement plans, and ask yourself, do you feel comfortable going into your retirement years, or what you're looking at right now? If these markets are kind of making you feel like anything can happen, they're very volatile, then I suggest you contact our friends at the Birch Gold Group. Simply text the words Trump to 989898, and all they're going to do is send you a free information kit on how you can invest in gold, silver, and precious metals. They are the experts. They can show you how to convert a traditional 401k into a gold-backed 401k, and they can do it very easy. They're A+ rated by the Business Bureau. Simply text the words Trump to 989898. That is the Birch Gold Group. All right. It's interesting to note also that just the satellite trucks. Now, I was here yesterday afternoon, and none of this was here. We had some police bike racks that were stacked up in this park here. but none of the media, kind of the media zoo was set up at all. So this was something that was obviously developed overnight so a lot of the morning shows, network morning shows, would have this ready for their for all of their hits there. So this is the lead story, and when you look at the grand scheme of things, this should not be the lead story, because you have this escalation between Iran and Israel, and really Yemen and all of these surrounding countries there launching war against Israel. Like, that is something that should be the lead story right now, and it's not, and it should be. But unfortunately, the media has diverted their attention from that to looking at this court case on President Trump, because it is about stopping President Trump. That's the motivation between all of this, and that's what it is. All right, so I'm just trying to see if anything else behind me. Obviously, I want to see if we can get around to the other side. So you guys just give me a second. I'm just checking some notes here to see if we can pull around. As this is, like I said earlier, this is going to be a very fluid day in terms of coverage and where we go and how it unfolds. So just asking everybody to kind of bear with us as we get the information as we can. It does look like we have a lot of people in there. I just don't. How do we get in that park, by the way? Oh, Renaissance. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna take a walk here, because I want to get off. There's really nothing other than the media to show here. I want to get and talk to some supporters. So I'm just going to follow Joe. I'm going to follow you. Let's go in front. And we'll go ahead and walk through here. We're going to have to essentially walk around. Now, they've got this whole area split off between two sides. One of them, obviously, this side here, closer to us, is more of the protest Trump side, and the other side is 100%, looks like it is a pro-Trump side. So they've got the two sides separated. Now I know we're just going around that way. Thank you. And I know that at some point the two sides do seem to mix up a little bit. This gives you, we're going to go to the next one. This gives you perspective. This is where, for guys back in the studio and those that want to see how the magic works, these are all SAT trucks here. This is all for the network people, and they're running cables all the way from back here through the park to the front of where the media row was, where we were at. So it's definitely, from a production technical standpoint, this is quite the cable throw, as they would say in the industry. But that's why that kind of gives you an idea of just how big this story is. In fact, that people, no matter where this media coverage or what media outlet you're from worldwide, you definitely. Hey, how you doing? Hey, real quickly, what does it mean to be here today?
It means being a patriot, standing for your country, standing for what you believe in, sticking with who you know is the best candidate for all of us. And I was just telling the other lady from AFP, she was asking if I'm afraid for what can happen today. Do I have any fear of what can possibly happen?
Fear of just
something going wrong and Trump actually being. To be honest, I saw Trump the other day at the Pennsylvania rally, and the guy looks super sharp. He looks really energetic, really on his toes. He looks undefeatable.
And you live in New York, and you've seen this. I mean, this type of structure is not foreign to you at all. What is it like to be a Trump supporter in New York City? I mean, you're walking around with the flag. Obviously, that should be something we can all get around.
Right.
But you are vocal, a Trump supporter, and for our viewers that don't maybe new to you, let's talk about your background and what you do.
So I'm a Christian conservative rap artist. I've been making music since 2017. I've got a lot of #1 songs. Most of my songs are, political. I've been a big supporter of Trump through my music, and I've been standing with him ever since. And even through some times where I've had my disagreements, he's the best candidate we've ever had, and nobody even comes close. For example, I like a little bit RFK, but not enough to even come close to Donald Trump. I mean, the guy is solid. Donald Trump is solid, and if you see the guy in person, he's just...
And I first met you on a flag drop. It was in front of the Trump Tower. We were walking to Times Square.
Right.
That's where I first met you. And so you've been out here with the fight. Okay, so what's your takeaway from, like, so far this morning, what you're seeing? We haven't been inside there yet, but what's your takeaway so far as the support for President Trump?
We have definitely a much more supporters than we do have haters here right now. We had a small little group that had signs that weren't even consistent with what's going on today. I think they brought signs for a different case. But there's a lot of support, a great deal of support. We have Laura Loomer here. We have Andrew Giuliani. We have the New York Young Republicans. I mean, we have a lot of support here. And everybody's, optimistic. Everybody, believes in this guy, and
Let me ask you a question. Does Trump have more support than we think in these inner cities?
Oh, 100%. Sometimes I had doubts, but it's actually, the silent majority here. There's a lot of Trump supporters that I never realized.
In the Latino and African American community.
Latino, African American. I mean,
why do you think that is?
Because we're all seeing the truth. We're all seeing what's happening now. I think now it's even a bigger thing for Trump now. He's getting more support in the Black and Latino community because we're starting to relate to him more. We're seeing that they're persecuting him just like they persecuted us. And if they could do it to him, they could do it even worse to us. And so we're seeing that things are starting to look strange, even to the left, even to Democrat voters.
If people want to follow you and your music, where do they go?
Go to @officialdvs 7.0 on Instagram. On all music platforms, I'm DVS 7.0. And you can find me that way.
Thank you so much.
Right,
I'm sure I'll see you back here again. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
All right, thank you. We're going to keep walking. And that young man, I remember we met him on the streets at a flag drop, is what they call, where they basically walk with the flag. How you doing? Doing all right? Tell me why you're here.
Check out the Trump check out the Trump thing.
What's your thoughts on so far what you've seen here today?
Well, obviously it's totally weaponized. Even Stormy Daniels said that it never happened.
Yeah, isn't that crazy that the key person in all of this denied that any of this even happened?
Yeah, exactly. And Cohn said he lied. They all said they lied.
So Michael Cohen, the other focal point in this case, said he lied, that there's no valid thing, and he actually was found guilty on other unrelated charges and did some jail time. We'll say that, but to this case, nothing.
Yeah, and Avenatti too. Avenatti's in jail. He said that the case is nonsensical.
Do you live here in New York?
Yeah, I live in New York. I actually tried to run for senator in Pennsylvania. I still want to challenge that election. I want the Supreme Court to look into that in 2022. I was running against Oz and Fetterman, and obviously there was a lot of election fraud in that.
Well, you got to keep fighting. All right, I appreciate it. We're going to go out here and talk around. Thanks for your time, man. I appreciate it. All right, so I am going to try to get a good feel of what exactly. How you doing? Doing all right? Good to see you, man. What does it mean to you to be here today?
I just come out here to see the support. I like the world to see that New York supports Trump too, because this is probably the heaviest blue state besides Cali.
It's funny, you just took the thoughts out of my head. I just said, let's talk to people who live here and get their thoughts on the president. Does he have more support amongst the African American community, the Latino community, and the minorities?
Yeah, a lot more than people know, especially in New York. I know last time it was an event here, it was a lot of, the other side was on that side, but I see more support now. I think people are being more open to being supportive of Trump, publicly now.
Remember when we were here the last time, the first indictment, it was absolutely chaos here. So far, seems pretty reserved, but I would imagine as the day goes along, we're going to see a few more people out here.
Yeah, I showed up, he just got here, right? If I'm not too mistaken. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot crazy. I think even the crazies are going to come more too.
So far, there's very little crazies out there.
Yeah, thank God. They don't come out too early, they come out when it's dark. But
all right, so look, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Stay safe out here.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and walk over here. Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate that. All right. All right, so this is Collect Pond Park. This is kind of where not only do you have the media kind of, you know, last time this was an absolute circus. And it actually, in all fairness, one of the times we were here, we had almost more media here than people that are just wanted to come out here and check out what was going on, which I think is very, very interesting when you have, you know, more of a media presence. Because think about that, you know, not only do you have how you doing, man?
Great coverage on RSBN.
I appreciate it, man. We're out here. We're out here live right now. What's your thoughts on everything?
Awesome. My thoughts. Well, I'm dissatisfied with
you guys in the media, and you guys are doing your thing.
Yes, I'm totally dissatisfied with the state of the country. Can your guys actually switch? Is that possible? I'm dissatisfied with the state of the country. It's driven me to the brink. I just can't believe that we're at a place now where the leading guy in position of power is persecuting his political opponents.
But remember, Trump's the threat to democracy.
Right.
Yeah, right.
It's fascinating to me. So, me and a couple other guys, we're starting our own network because I'm also really
awesome. I'm gonna give you a chance to promote that because I love people that come out here. You got your camera guy, you got your thing, you do anything. So that has inspired you to do what you're doing right now.
Yeah. So the network's called Perseverance. It's starting with my first show, which is Mike Marshall Authentic. We're going to the southern border. We're going to Miami. We're going to Capitol Hill. We're going to be all over the place. And we want to bring a different perspective to the media. We want to bring young blood to the media, you know, because this world needs a new generation of reckoning right now because the people in power are out of control. They're out of control. We have lawfare, we have election interference, we have rampant corruption, and I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it. And I'm also sick of the people in my generation that just cover the cultural issues and don't get in the meat and potatoes. Come on, get some skin in the game, man.
But it's interesting you say that because I think more people get caught up on the personal side of all of this and not the policy. Now, you can disagree and perhaps don't like President Trump on a personal level for whatever reason. Like, we're not all meant to like each other. I particularly love the guy. But you cannot disagree that the policies behind the America First agenda were the best policies for every American.
It totally worked. And we have a new precedent that's going to be set. For the first time, we have two records to compare and contrast. I don't think that the majority of the American people are stupid. I think that they know what works. I think they know what economic policy works. I think they know what social policy works. They want common sense. You know, Trump always says, I'm not a conservative, I'm just common sense, and common sense leads you to conservatism. And that's totally true. We need common sense in the White House. What his stance on abortion is going to win him the election. Totally common sense. And we need more of that. We need less people talking about what Lizzo's doing and more people talking about election interference and corruption within government. Thank you.
Great, man. Thank you. We can add Taylor Swift to that list, too.
Yeah,
Less about that.
Give me a break, man. Thank you.
Yeah. I hope you generate. Good luck with your network. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time. I talk to these guys. Do you mind if we step? All right, great. Hey, how you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing great.
Well, we're here in Collect Pond Park today, aren't we?
Pardon me?
We're here at the park.
Yes, we're here at the park.
What does it mean to you to be a Trump supporter, especially in this city? I don't know if you guys live here. Okay.
We live here. Well, we feel, I guess, like a needle in a haystack, but if you go to the Bronx, if you go to Long Island, you go to Staten Island, there's a lot of Trump supporters. And I think, first of all, you know him better than anybody, right? The man is a germaphobe. You know where I'm going with this. If he had an affair, okay, services were paid for, services rendered, services paid for, right? So what are we talking about? Lots of men use prostitutes.
Yeah, but that's alleged, and she even denied that affair. So
But the man is a germaphobe.
He's a professional, and he's a gentleman, so I don't see him getting tangled up in that in the first place. But let me ask you a question. Do you see a growing support of New Yorkers that support Trump?
I see a lot of them, but they stay quiet about it.
On the down low. Listen.
Walking in the street and they see me, they're like,
Okay, let me ask you a question. You guys got your great big nice hats on today. Did you get anybody mouthing at you as you were walking here to the park?
No, not really. But I tell you one thing: if I go to like the Bronx or something, I'll get like nobody says anything. But if I go to like the Upper East Side or something like that, that's when I'm like, they'll give me.
I've always said this. It's like white women from the suburbs can't stand the Trump. When you go in the real city, the real people, it's. But that's what the media has done. It has turned that demo, the elite class, the educated, affluent, and bored is what that is.
On the Upper West Side too. On the Upper West.
Listen, if Trump steps on a cockroach, Letitia James will say he committed murder. Okay? She's a dog. She's a dog.
Well, I'm glad you guys are out here. This is fun. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I always say, how come Right Side never comes to New York?
You know what? Well, sometimes it's tough.
Have a rally here.
Would that be great if they had a rally
Oh my
here?
goodness. Yes.
I've heard that they were in the works of talking about it, but I mean, I'm not on that side of the business. So
I heard it's in maybe Madison Square Garden and the Bronx. If that's true, please, Right Side has to announce it.
does that thing sell out if he comes to New York?
Oh, yes.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
All right. One final sports question: Mets or Yankees? Who do we see?
Yankees.
Yankees,
Giants or Jets?
Giants.
Giants.
There we go. There's your sports moment right here. Well, all right. He went to a Mets game last night, but so don't hold it. But yeah, go ahead.
What's the team that won the Super Bowl?
This past year,
Yeah,
that would be the Chiefs.
the Chiefs. You know the kicker is a traditional Catholic.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Always wears his brown back. So you know he's probably a Trumper too.
Of course. Oh, there's probably several Trump supporters in the NFL. Well, you guys take care. I'm sure we'll see you later. Thank you so much. All right, so let's go. These are great. I love talking to New Yorkers because I often say that that New Yorkers, if you're a Trump supporter or New Yorker, you're a pretty bold individual. Okay, let's talk about Tax Network USA. Today is April 15th, so today is tax day, obviously. If you haven't paid your taxes in 10 years, 2 years, 1 year, these guys over at Tax Network USA can help you get rid of the anxiety, lower your tax bill, and move on with your life. Absolutely. So as if you're very nervous about today and you think about the years you have not done it, our friends over at Tax Network USA can help you out. Information for that is on your screen. Tax Network USA. They're Better Business Bureau rated, great reviews. Thousands of our viewers have messaged them and said, hey, we're so glad we saw you on Right Side. Don't forget about that promo code as well. Tax Network USA. All right, so obviously a few more people are in this park than it was earlier. And if you're just now joining us, yes, we're live here in New York City in front of the courthouse here. How you doing? Nice hat.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's your name? Where you from?
George, I'm from New York. Okay. Yeah, from Long Island.
I was just talking about some of the bravest Trump supporters that we see around the country. Isn't really in the deep South where you expect everyone to kind of be conservative. It's right here in the city of New York.
Yep, I agree, 100%. You'll be surprised how many Trump supporters and how many conservative-based values are here in New York. Unfortunately, the politicians have destroyed this city.
What is it like? Because I said earlier, I felt like that there was less trash and homeless on the streets, but maybe that's just where I was walking yesterday. But has the city cleaned up at all? Then, or you can.
That's
maybe
a loaded
I'm missing.
question.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. You should ride the subway a little bit more.
Okay, there you go. I'm glad you told me.
Go to different corners of the city, but truthfully, I travel into Manhattan every day, and it's a shame because through the 30, 40 years that I've been in and out of Manhattan, as far as I can remember, it's never been like this. I mean, probably David Dickens was the last time the city was so bad.
Let's talk about how Trump is growing his base in these inner cities because of that. They see what the open border has done. I notice a lot of immigrants on street corners, a lot of Latino immigrants and people from Africa, it look like, from various regions in Africa. Tell me your experience with that.
I've seen it. I've seen a lot of it. Truthfully, they're coming not only through our borders, but they're being, channeled through NGOs, a lot of them. through Panama, and they're coming up through our borders, and it's not just Mexico. It's all over the world. Vote America's I and vote for.
I was going to say that
inflation,
like housing is insane here.
untouchable. Everyone's moving out of New
I
York.
was gonna say commercial real estate's even opening up. I saw a lot of
No retail space available. There's really nothing available. Here, that's for sure.
Let's talk crime for a second. Obviously, I didn't feel threatened yesterday, but that's a Sunday morning, you know, a little different. What's your experience with violent crime on the streets?
Violent crime, I've been blessed where I haven't seen anything violent occur, but I've seen where there's a lot of agitators and people that test the system, especially on the subway. You see a lot of that. They know that they can get away with it. They'll get a slap on the wrist. They'll go through the system and be out on the street within 24, 48 hours. It's such a shame. People.
I jumped on the subway yesterday. I told a friend that I read the subway, and they were like, "You rode the subway?" I'm like, "Actually, it wasn't bad on a Sunday morning. Coming from Wall Street too, it wasn't bad."
There's certain lines that are not bad, but you always have to be careful. You have to be educated. Knowledge is key. You got to know where you're going.
All right, can President Trump find a jury of his peers here in New York?
Here, no way. No way. 45, 40, I don't know, 50 somewhat questions that basically are not, you know, asking you who are you going to vote for, but that you can literally tell who you're going to vote for by those answers. It's ridiculous.
So what happens if you go through these 500 people that they have, you can't find 12? I mean, I don't know if those 12 people exist in this city.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you and some other people, but I mean, obviously.
Cherry pick a few of them from here. Then again, you know, people will answer the questions they want to answer it, but then when they get on the jury, they might vote differently. Yeah. So, you know, those answers really are not going to be the best way to get the right people on the jury. So.
Well, we appreciate you guys
Absolutely.
right now. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time today. I appreciate it. God bless, and let's just hope the very best works out here for the president.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Thank you, Trump 2024. Good to see you. How are you?
See you. How are you doing?
I'm giving you a little hug. We're live on the air right now. Tell me your experiences out here so far.
So far, it's good. It's always good to rally with Trump supporters, even
in the inner cities in New York.
Absolutely. Yeah. The irony that this is a hush money case, but they have a gag order on the president. It's difficult to get your brain around.
Yeah, when you look at some of the facts around this hush money case, and they're, you know, a lot of them they tend to lean the other way, and there's plus the statute of limitations that expired. I don't know why this even thing's underway.
It's underway because they're trying to keep President Trump from rallying, because we see the force that he is, but it doesn't matter. We see time and time again, every single time they go after him, he rises in the polls, and I personally believe that God's hand is on him, and this is all going to turn out good.
Yeah, it's all going to turn out good. All right, let's take a look at the crowd here. We're going to toss to Vanessa Broussard here in just a second. That's in front of Trump Tower. Let her get ready position for that. But hang on just one second, sweetheart. Of course you can. We'll talk to you in just a second. There you go. So you can see that's the status here. Well, I'll toss it over to Vanessa Broussard, who's in front of Trump Tower, to see if there's any latest developments there. Vanessa, what are you seeing?
Business as usual here over on 5th Avenue in front of Trump Tower. You see a lot of people on their morning jog, a lot of people riding their bicycles, even families out riding their bikes this morning. It's a beautiful day to do so. I've seen numerous people walking to work in business suits. When Trump left this morning, you saw a lot of supporters out here hoping to get a glimpse of President Trump, in which they did. He did make a wave to his supporters and actually over to us here at Right Side Broadcasting Network as well. So we did get a few waves from the president as he exited Trump Tower. But again, it's business as usual. Just to give you an idea, I'm going to step to the side. This is Trump Tower right behind me. Now, this is where Trump has a residency. This is a location of businesses, apartments, and of course his home as well. Now, he does live at Mar-a-Lago now, but before he did reside here at Trump Tower. This is where he will likely be staying over the course of the next 6 to 8 weeks during the trial. Now, Bedminster, his other home in New Jersey, is just about an hour away, but this makes sense for President Trump to stay here. He can meet with his attorneys. He can be closer to the courthouse, about 20 minutes away, about a 20-minute drive, as you saw this morning. But it makes sense for him to be here at Trump Tower. Now, security is tight here today, especially when President Trump was located inside the building. He exited, and then we saw some New York police officers exit as well. But as you can see, if we can pan and look around at different locations, you do have police officers still manning the corners of Trump Tower. They have opened up some of the barricades to get some of these people walking through on their daily routines. But like I said, it's just a typical day now here that President Trump has left the building and is now in court. But you also see some NYPD patrol units parked outside Trump Tower. So a lot of security still on hand. We can assume they're inside as well. Now, I did come to Trump Tower in 2016, when President Trump won the election in 2016, in that November, I actually visited and came to Trump Tower in December of that same year, and you had to go through mags, what they use at his rallies, what you go through in an airport for security. Do they have those in there today? I'm just not sure, but you can only imagine that there's still tourists going inside to either shop at one of his shops inside, or also to the bakery or to Trump Cafe to have lunch or even dinner. They will make sure that security is tight. We have not been inside just yet, but I can't confirm if there are those extra security measures in place today regarding the mags. But you know that there's plenty of Secret Service and police officers here from New York as well. We did have a bunch of people standing by, tourists watching President Trump come out this morning. A lot of people didn't even know what was going on. They saw all of the media here waiting for the president, asked us what's going on. We told them, and instead of going to their tourist attraction that they were headed to, they stopped and waited. They showed their children President Trump, and they say this is a day in history, and we'll definitely mark this into our vacation guide so we can remember that we saw President Trump on our vacation. Also, a lot of people from overseas as well. As we pause real quick before we go into, I want to read you some Truth Social posts from the president late last night and early this morning. I want to remind you about AnglePaste. This is great for women and men. They're based out of Spring, Texas, just outside of Houston, and it will do wonders for your skin. It will make you feel younger, look younger, hide some of those age spots, even some scars if you have any. So go online and definitely check them out. They get rave reviews. Everything is sourced in the United States of America, and they're big with supporting veterans. They make sure that they hire veterans, so even more reason to support this great America First small business. They stick to that policy, again, hiring veterans. It's like unlike any other cream you'll find on the market. Zero chemicals. It hydrates your skin without that greasy feeling. We never like that feeling on our skin. Many customers have reported younger looking skin, again, fewer wrinkles, hiding age spots, healing burns and bruises. Summer is coming, so if you just so happen to forget your tan lotion and you get burned, this is where that cream will come in handy. Get the Miracle Cream everyone's talking about. That's AnglePaste Miracle Cream. Your skin will love it, and it will thank you for it. Use the promo code to get 10% off your order today. That's AnglePaste.com. Again, AnglePaste.com. The code is RSBN. Get a discount today on your order. All right, so President Trump, as you know, we talk about it all the time. Does he ever sleep? We think that he rarely does because he is a busy man. Well, he was up late last night posting on his Truth Social account about today's trial and what's taking place today in New York City. And I want to read off to you. This one came in late last night. He posted this. Just 4 years ago, I was a very popular and successful president of the United States, getting more votes than any sitting president in history. Tomorrow morning, which is today, I'll be in criminal court before a totally conflicted judge, a corrupt prosecutor, a legal system in chaos, a state being overrun by violent crime and corruption, and crooked Joe Biden's henchmen rigging the system against his political opponent. Me, he says. I will be fighting for myself, but much more importantly, I will be fighting for our country. Election interference like this has never happened in the USA before, and hopefully will never happen again, he says. We are now a nation in serious decline, a failing nation, but we will soon be a great nation again. November 5th will be the most important day in the history of the United States. We will see you tomorrow, MAGA 2024. Again, this was last night. Then he also posted yesterday, Judge Juan Merchan, perhaps the most highly conflicted judge in New York State history, only gave us a short period of time to read and study hundreds of thousands of pages of documents that DA Alvin Bragg illegally hid, disguised, and held back from us. Now, of course, he says, and as the judge knows, we need far more time than that. They could have started this fake Biden trial many years ago, not right in the middle of my campaign for president, and time would not be a problem. This is a blatant and unprecedented attack on crooked Joe Biden's political opponent, who is leading in every poll, done in close coordination with the White House, that cannot be allowed to go forward. Then this morning, he was up bright and early at 5:39 a.m. this morning. President Trump posts this on Truth Social, as virtually every legal scholar has powerfully stated the Biden Manhattan witch hunt case is, among other things, barred by the statute of limitations. This trial, which he put in quotes, should be ended by the highly conflicted presiding judge. And then right thereafter at 5:51 this morning, President Trump still posting on Truth Social. The radical left Democrats are already cheating on the 2024 presidential election by bringing or helping to bring all of these bogus lawsuits against me, thereby forcing me to sit in courthouses and spend money that could be used for campaigning instead of being out in the field knocking crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the United States. Election interference, he says. So as you can see, President Trump, even though he's under a gag order not to really talk about details in the case, it's not that he denied the gag order, but he can still speak about the case, just not give details about the case, is very obviously inclined to say that this is election interference and that they are definitely trying to keep him off the campaign trail, which they are doing so. He will be in court here in Manhattan for at least 8 weeks. Jury selection could take several days, if not several weeks, just for that process. And by the time you get to all of the testimony, we're going to hear from Michael Cohen. We're going to hear from Stormy Daniels. We are not told yet if President Trump will take the stand, but it's going to be a long process in front of those 12 jurors, whoever they may be. They will begin selecting those any minute now inside the courthouse. That's where Brian Glenn is. And then they'll have 6 alternates as well. But like we've been mentioning, it's very important here in New York City to remind you that in Manhattan, you have to be a Manhattan resident to serve on the jury in this case. You have to speak English. They will ask you if you follow President Trump on social media, and they'll have a list of about 40 other questions, a questionnaire for all of these potential jurors that could decide whether they sit in the jury box or they are let go today. But several hundred people are there. They were summoned to arrive there at 9 o'clock this morning to potentially be picked to sit on the jury in this high-profile case. Now, again, President Trump has been under a gag order right in the middle of his election, and as he campaigns across the country, he has stated on Truth Social, how can the other side, the left, how can they say what they want about the case, but I am not able to do so? Is this a reflection of his First Amendment rights and taking away his First Amendment rights to freedom of speech? Now, if they appealed the gag order, by the time the appeal would take place, it would be after the trial started. So the gag order was put in place right before this trial, so not giving the Trump attorneys much time to make an appeal on that specific decision because it wouldn't give them enough time for the gag order to be lifted before trial started. So he's been told to be quiet, but again, as President Trump has stated multiple times, it's very unfair that Biden and his crooked administration and also the left, they're able to say what they want, but he is under a gag order. But it's great to see and hear all of these supporters out there for President Trump. And taking a look back, yes, you have those protesters who will be there. But at the same time, there's a shift I'm seeing just from Brian reporting out there today. A lot of supporters in New York City and Manhattan and also the Bronx, as some of these residents are saying here today, they love President Trump. They see what's going on in this city. They see the crime. They see the influx of illegal immigrants being flooded into their city, and they've had enough. This is not the same New York City that we used to all love. In fact, just moments ago, I saw a van pass by that said, "I heart NY." You know that iconic slogan. It's the heart symbol, "I heart NY." And I thought to myself, I used to love New York City. I want to still love New York City. But when you know there's so much corruption in the leadership of New York City, this is a hard place to love. And before, if someone told me, "Vanessa, you're going to New York City," I would jump up and down excited. But I wasn't excited for this trip because this is not a good trip. This is an unfair trip, and we should not be here today. This trial should not be taking place today. So New York City has some cleaning up to do, not just in the streets, but all the way up to the top too, and that's what their Democrat-run leaders that they have chosen to put in office. So hopefully we'll see a change in the future. Hopefully the people of New York will wake up because this just isn't fair. Now, again, I'm going to step to the side. You can see people walking. You can see people on their way to work. They're touring. They have their fanny packs on. And I want to show you a picture I took earlier. You have a woman waving. A truck passing by. This truck is a MAGA truck saying, "In God We Trust." You could hear music blaring from the speakers maybe 2 to 3 blocks away as it made its way with its flags flying in the breeze in front of Trump Tower. And it was great to see this. But it was also great to hear the song that they were playing was "Trump Saved the USA." If you have not heard that song, you should go download it now. Check it out on YouTube. It's from an artist who is very familiar, a familiar face to you all here on Right Side Broadcasting Network, is Forgiato Blow, who has been very vocal about his music. He's a conservative Trump patriot who turned from the regular rap scene that we all know, where rappers sing about women and cars and drugs. He now sings and raps about President Trump and saving this country, and his music has taken off. It's just blown up on iTunes, and he has the Trump Latinos who have come on, and they have music as well. And those artists are really making a movement in the conservative industry. It's like a conservative rap, and they are pro-Trump. So go check them out. That's what this truck was driving by, blaring today. It was good to see. You still have people coming in to Trump Tower as you look at just the normal everyday traffic, taxis and buses here on Fifth Avenue, and people walking into Trump Tower as we hit mid-morning here in New York City. Look, the poll numbers are looking really good for President Trump. The more he's attacked, the higher his poll numbers go. Now, right after Super Tuesday, Decision Desk did an exit poll on what people thought in America was the main concern here in the United States. Now, just like the man was saying that Brian was interviewing earlier, there is more concern about what Lizzo's doing and what Kim Kardashian is doing and what Taylor Swift is doing. We should be focusing on the real issues of this country. And so when Americans were asked in this Decision Desk exit poll after Super Tuesday, what's their number one concern? Republican voters said 44% immigration. That was the number one concern with them. And that is a problem here in New York City. You've heard from some of the supporters there at the courthouse. They are seeing that here in New York City. So you're no longer a victim of these illegal aliens coming into your city if you live up north. It used to be the southern states, but they're all over the country now. And you've seen that these Democrat-run cities don't like that they're being bussed here. They want that open border, but they're saying don't bring them to our city. And it's been known that the New York City mayor has had to contact Biden administration and the federal government for more resources because of the influx of illegal aliens here in New York City. They're getting free housing. They're staying in these nice hotels that you see behind me and these high rises. How beautiful and how nice that would be to stay for free, right? Well, if you're an illegal alien, New York City says, we'll take you, but wait a minute, we can't really afford that. So let's see if Biden can give us some money so we can continue to give them everything they want for free. So they're here. They're on the streets among us. They're right here in New York City, and chances are they're in your hometown as well. So 44% in that exit poll said that illegal immigration is the number one concern with them. Coming in at number two at 28% was the economy. People can't afford to live. They can't buy groceries. They can't buy gasoline. They can't do extracurriculars with their children. They can't go out to eat as a family. They just can't afford it. And you know, I was thinking earlier when Brian was talking about the economy over at the courthouse, I was looking around at these high rises around me, and this is, they call it a concrete jungle, because this is all concrete around here. You see no greenery unless you go to the park, which is right around the corner. Beautiful park, Central Park. But these are all, if they're not businesses, they're apartments. New York City is Manhattan. These are apartments. Very rarely do you see personal cars. You see taxis, you see city buses, you see the subway, you see Uber drivers. So what am I getting at? What's my point here? That the people of New York City don't have to pay a mortgage. They don't have to pay insurance on a home. They don't have to pay taxes on a home every year. They don't have to pay a monthly note for a car. They don't have to pay insurance for a car. So they don't get what the other Americans who own a home and own a car and own both, the struggle that they get. But they should, because the cost of living here is so high. Even if you rent an apartment just to go out to eat, to go to the grocery store, to take an Uber for 5 minutes is $60. I know that for a fact because I just had to do it. It's very expensive to live here. So how and why these people in New York City support this is beyond me. But when it comes to the average American, the basics that are the most that Americans pay for every month, that's your mortgage and your car notes and your car insurance and your taxes on your home and all of the things that come with owning a home, most of these people don't have to deal with because they're living in this big city in apartments in a high-rise, walking to work every day or taking an Uber or a taxi. So they don't know the struggles of having those two top, your car and your house, those two top bills that you have to pay every month. What they do have to deal with is being in a crowd every day, because there are millions of people here in New York City, and if you have to be around crowds, you understand the feeling. When somebody coughs or sneezes, you kind of want to walk away, turn your head. Well, you know what? You know who can save you with that? The wellness company. They have the medical emergency kit. So if you're worried about getting sick and are worried about what the next pandemic may be, make sure you have one of these on hand. This is Dr. Peter McCullough and his team. They used to be working with President Trump during the COVID pandemic and the height of the pandemic. If you remember, it was hard to get medications. The FDA was saying, you know, we couldn't approve this medication. We couldn't give you this. Medication was hard to find. Just a lot. And people were sick and people were dying. So we never know when that next pandemic may hit. So you'll get ivermectin, you'll get all kinds of drugs that you would need, prescription drugs that you would need in case you get sick. You'll get a Z-Pack, and that's for a common cold. So if you can't get to your doctor, if you can't get to the emergency room, if you can't get the medication that you need next time you get sick, have this medical emergency kit on hand so you don't have to worry about what comes next when trying to find the medication to make you feel better. So that's the medical emergency kit. Go to makecaregreatagain.com, makecaregreatagain.com. Put in the RSBN code. You'll save a discount on your order, and make sure you're prepared for the next pandemic or the next time the bug strikes your family. You'll be prepared with that medical emergency kit. All right, I'm Vanessa Broussard, standing outside live here in front of Trump Tower on 5th Avenue. We'll continue to monitor things over here, but right now it's calm. It's all right. People are going to work. People are walking around. And again, business as usual. We're going to toss it back over to Brian right now. Brian?
All right, thanks, Vanessa. We're back out here live in Collect Pond Park, is what it's called, right across the street from the courthouse where President Trump is in trial right now. Jury selection, as we've been talking about, is underway, and they're going to basically go through about 500 people to find 12 people a jury of his peers. Now, I was talking to somebody during your segment that lives here, and he said, hey, they'll eventually find it, but the way this toxic media is so far, it's really hard to find somebody here in New York City that is unbiased when it turns to some of these things in the case. I'm going to turn our attention to Steve here. I see Steve. I met you at CPAC several years ago. It seems that we basically we always run into each other somewhere.
We go to the right places. We hang out with the right people, Brian.
Tell me why you're here today.
I'm here to show support for President Trump. It's a sham what's happening in that courthouse there, and I think it's important as a New Yorker and as an American to give him support. He has our back. I want to be part of the crowd that has his back as well.
I often say New York City has got to be a tough place to be a Trump supporter due to the toxic nature of this town. What has your experience been like, obviously wearing all of this, walking around?
Well, look,
let's see. Give me a good shot of the Trump truck coming through here, making its way down Media Row there. Let's just listen in. As the obviously the crowd here responding to this massive dually coming through here, blowing the horns, sporting the Trump flags. Making his way just right in front of Media Row there, so that I would imagine disrupted a couple of live shots there. Thank you so much, Joe, for getting that. I couldn't help but I heard the horn. I heard it
And it was a
before I saw it.
Pro-Trump horn.
There it is. Now, okay, get back to where you stand. Like, so be a supporter in this town. You got to really be strong and bold and be able to take a little bit of criticism.
Listen, over 90% voted for Biden. They're Democrats, they're liberals, right? That's why I think it's almost guaranteed Trump's going to be convicted here, because the jury pool is either going to be filled all with Democrats or someone who won't have the courage to stand out and say not guilty, because they'd be, from peer pressure, ostracized for life, right? The judge shouldn't even be a judge in this case. Judges are afraid to be fair for Trump. But yeah, in New York, I'm careful where I wear my Trump stuff, but I am noticing I talk to more and more New Yorkers, and not only can't they stand Biden, but they're like, you know what? This is unfair what's happening to Trump.
You're saying people see these lawsuits and they're telling themselves this is unfair what they're doing to President Trump.
If they're fair and they read about it and they want to give him a chance, then yeah, this is totally unfair. The question is, do they even care? Do they hate Trump enough that they don't care? That they try to convince themselves that this is something legit? That's really funny to hear them try to make it legit. But
let's talk about the economy and the economic situation here in New York City for you. What have you seen in terms of how it's so hard to make ends meet, I would imagine, here in New York City?
It's terrible. You can walk anywhere. You see stores for rent. This used to be a vibrant city, and it's not just business-wise. It's because of crime. As a New Yorker, I loved going late at night to a 24-hour diner. They said New York's the city that never sleeps. It sleeps now. The diner that was 24 hours closes at 10:30 or midnight, and that's it. It's because of crime, and it's because of the economy. New York's not the same city. Democrats have ruined it, and New Yorkers should know that and vote for Trump, because he could save New York and America.
That's a clip right there for social media, because let me tell you something, you're absolutely right. I noticed last night I went out to dinner and I was looking for a place to go. A lot of places closed at 9 o'clock. And I thought to myself, wait, this is New York City. It should be open later. But to your point, it makes sense that they're not.
I wanted a 2 a.m. steak in the past. I knew I can get it. Not healthy for me, but at least I could get it, right? Now I can't get it anymore. And it's sad. You're afraid walking around New York. It just said there's no energy in the city, and a lot of New Yorkers are moving to the red states of Florida, Texas, Tennessee. Yeah.
Talking about the tourist. I mean, you look at Times Square and some of these areas that predominantly pull a lot of tourism. Have you seen a decrease in that at all? And maybe you don't have any idea.
I still see a lot of tourists. They come here, they go to Broadway. It's still Times Square is a cool place to be in. But if you're a New Yorker and you walk on the side streets and you just see the filth, and you know you need to be afraid here. I don't take the subways late at night anymore. After 10 o'clock, I'm like, I'll take a taxi or an Uber and take my chances with that, as opposed to getting shoved on a subway track.
Good point there. Let's talk about what you're wearing real quickly. I met you years ago at CPAC, and you had these amazing hammocks, and you've kind of gotten into the more of a scarves. Let's tell me how you got started with all this.
Well, I was involved with someone who makes hammocks, and we wanted to make a hammock for President Trump, a one-off. And the response to it was very positive, and so we expanded the business to MAGA hammocks. So we have big hammocks, small hammocks with patriotic messaging, everything from Trump's name to Save America to fake news, right? But not everyone has space for a hammock, and so we made now handmade scarves. Everything we make, Brian, is handmade in El Salvador with USA material. So we send them the material, we design it. We have a Save America, Let's Go Brandon scarf, and now Trump 2024.
So you're actually creating jobs in El Salvador. Think about that. There's people down there that did not have employment until you.
And I appreciate that you recognize that, right? Because it encourages them to stay there. They're They're artisans.
Do they understand what they're making? Do they understand the political significance of what they're making?
They love Trump down there. El Salvador is sort of a MAGA country. Bukele, the president there, right? He's very supportive of Trump. I actually showed him this. I said, "Made in El Salvador," right. But yeah, I think it's great that they're making by hand patriotic MAGA product. They appreciate it, right? It'd be tough to find in this country, not only because of the skill to make it, but we're a divided country. We have divided economic interests here.
Let me ask you a question. What should President Trump do on day one on this next administration? I know what a majority of Americans that I talk to every day say, but I want to hear from you.
Well, he says he'd be a dictator on day one, so I wouldn't mind if he would arrest the New York City corrupt, attorney general, district attorney. Well, let's just say here, right, Letitia James, right, she ran on getting Trump. That's illegal. You can't run on getting someone, especially to remain like an attorney general. This shows you how corrupt our legal system.
Bonnie Willis did the same thing. They all run on the pretense of getting Trump. So that's kind of what.
And they're all corrupt. But why didn't the legal bars that give the licenses realize, hey, you can't run on this? So our system, they should have been impeached and disbarred. But aside from that, right, as he says, close the border. Right, and he says, drill, baby, drill, release the economy, make us energy independent again. He needs to make America rich again. And as a New Yorker, I'd like to see him get involved in dealing with the crime. He says he wants to nationalize Washington, D.C., because that's terrible, too. So I would like to see him use the power that he would have to make our city safer again and our system more fair. As he says, he's a martyr here if he ends up in jail or convicted, because this is unfair. So as I say, Brian, it's good to be here so he sees that people support him and know this is a bunch of sorry BS.
I know his team's probably watching us right now in and out of this court. One final question, foreign policy. What broke out over the weekend, this attack on Israel, President Trump often says, and he's said it before, this would not have happened on his watch.
Well, it didn't happen under his watch, so it's not even a theory. Russia didn't invade Ukraine when he was president. Hamas didn't go into Israel, and Iran didn't have money because of Trump's policies. So Biden, being the weak president he is, allowed Iran to get a lot of money, and they paid off Hamas and just did so much damage, and they're not afraid of Biden. It's so ridiculous to hear what their message is, the Biden administration. Their message is don't. Well, they didn't listen to it's an Elvis song. It's a good Elvis song. When Biden says it, it's a joke, right? So Trump, with strength, scared other countries from messing with the U.S., and now you just see it. They said Trump would cause World War III. Biden has caused, hopefully, well, he's brought us to the brink of it, right? They said they're the adults. No, they're not the adults. They're the idiots.
It's really scary when you think about it. When it broke out, the last week, the U.S. intelligence warned, remember, that it was imminent on U.S. or Israeli forces or properties. And then this past weekend it happened. Now Iran is threatening that if Israel responds, they're going to respond. I mean,
and Biden is telling Israel not to respond. Just take it. Yeah. Thank God they were able to intercept it, and maybe Iran just did it for show. But if you send 350 missiles towards a country, is the country just supposed to say, we managed to stop it, so that's okay? No, they should be punished. Granted, it's scary to escalate things out there, so Israel needs to be careful, but I think Israel would feel a lot more safe knowing they had someone like Trump on their side, because Trump understands you need to be strong, and he hates these radicals while Biden is going after their votes.
That's very interesting. Steve, good to see you again. Once again, if you want to get the hammock or the scarves.
MAGAhammocks.com. Right.
Clear disclosure, not a sponsor of the show. Just noticed the scarf there. I wanted to point it out. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Enjoy. Stay safe. Looks like we're getting another pass through with the truck. Let's see if we can walk maybe a little bit. you very much. Let's get to the corner and see if we can get a better look at that truck. Nice little pass by, and obviously all the media on Media Row is kind of scrambling to get the images and the video of this truck. I would imagine, obviously that the truck is not, violating any kind of laws right now. This is an open street right here, so he's simply exercising his freedom of speech right now in support of the president making his way through here. All right, Joe, we can turn around and go back a little bit this way. I know it's kind of tight to get in there. We'll walk back here. If you're just now joining us, we are live here in Collect Pond Park, right in front of the courthouse here in New York City. I would say, I'm going to be as extremely honest as possible here, but I would say there's almost equally amount of media here as there are supporters, and I would say there are a handful of supporters here, obviously. The other side is, and that is the side of, I guess, the protesters. If there were protesters, that is the side. So let's get a good look of who's not showing up today. Now, I heard some people off camera kind of talk about the fact that it's a little too early for a protester to show up. They don't get up until in the afternoon. They've been out all night. But that is where the protesters, I guess, at some point are going to show up. You've got some silly signs that they've put up. And I remember last time I tried to engage all of them, and I, quite frankly, I would say, where is the American flags? Because at the time there were, several American flags on this side, and there was 0 American flags on the protesters. And I often said, well, do you love this country? And the answer to all of this is no. They despise this country and what we stand for, and obviously they despise President Trump and this America First agenda. So that is something that is kind of a clear cut, but it's easy to see that no one has really shown up today to protest this event. But we do have a good handful of supporters. Now, it's interesting that we quite often see the same New York kind of MAGA Trump supporters time after time here. The young Christian musician we talked to early on, we first met him in front of Trump Tower years ago, and he was a part of this whole kind of a flag drop type scenario where these guys would go around town and drop the MAGA flags, and they would go into Yankee Stadium and do it, and football stadiums, and really anywhere. And that core of people have really been the epicenter, I think, of the, if you want to call them, MAGA activists that come out to an event like this and show support. And you got to applaud people that are able to, for the most part, get things organized and come out on this day. But I would say a lot less people here than it was on the indictment that we were here before. It just is. Let's flip it around. Let's get a shot there of the courthouse with the Trump 2024 flag, Save America. And of course, lots of stuff in the news today, obviously, but I would say the number one thing right now is this story. Outside of this, it would be the conflict in the Middle East, and how that has really escalated, and how Steve from the MAGA hammocks described that is a story that should scare everyone, because that is on the brink of World War III, and how it's just escalating to a point where when we get people that the tension between the two countries and the two sides build up, I think you're going to get to a point where you've got things are going to happen. And when I say that, you got 509 missiles were launched towards Israel from several different directions, and then Iron Dome was able to shield 99% of them. But what happens when it escalates even more? And then what happens with the U.S. involvement on that? If you look at Ukraine and what's happening there, now Speaker Johnson, from what I've been told, we could see a vote in the House on Ukrainian aid coming really any day now once they go back in session. And then, of course, aid to Israel. Now, right now, the aid package is one aid package, but a lot of people have been wanting to separate the two aid packages or make it a Ukrainian aid package and an Israeli, because majority of Americans are simply not in support of an aid package to Ukraine. Now, obviously, they are with Israel, but it's almost like what they're doing is piggybacking the Ukrainian aid package on the Israel aid package, and that's not. It shouldn't be done like that. So it shouldn't force people to vote to help Ukraine or to help Israel, and on the top of that, you get to help Ukraine with $60 billion. So hopefully, enough pushback from House Republicans will able to separate those two bills. I think that's what should happen. So, I encourage everybody to call your congressman, write them an email, call them, and let them know that you will not support the aid package for that. Hey, we do want you to support our friends over the Birch Gold Company. They are the experts in gold, silver, precious metals. If you're looking at your 401k, if you're looking at your investments and you want to make sure everything is secure, these guys can help you out on that. Simply text the words Trump to 989898 for your free information kit. They'll send it to you. They're A+ Better Business Bureau rated. And they can help you even transition from an existing 401k into a gold-backed 401k. They can do just that. Simply text the words Trump to 989898. That is a Trump 989898. That is the Birch Gold Group. That truck's still making a couple ways around that. We talked about the economy and inflation and the fact. Let's go and move over here a little bit. When you take a look at the economy, and we were, here in New York City, obviously New York, LA, some of the bigger cities are seeing a majority of higher cost of living than perhaps somewhere in middle America. But Americans are struggling, and since today is tax day, and we do have our friends over at Tax Network USA, we'll get to that here in just a little bit. But today is tax day, and 42% of people said that they were getting a refund. They were actually going to use that money to make ends meet that month. So it's one of those scenarios where people aren't using that money to go on a vacation or to go anywhere else. They're using it, Savannah, they're using it to basically make ends meet. I want to bring in Savannah Hernandez in here. Walking, I saw you over here earlier. I'm doing fine. Thanks, good
nice
seeing you here.
Nice to see you.
What's your, let's get away. I think you're getting popped in the head by a MAGA flag. What's your experience here so far today? What's your thoughts?
I'm just here to walk around, look around. I was actually here back last year during one of Trump's first indictments, and it was absolutely insane. So it seems a lot more calm. And if anything, I feel like that's a reflection of the fatigue that a lot of people feel regarding Donald Trump being attacked and persecuted in this way. It's ridiculous. And what I want to highlight, though, is the energy surrounding the Trump crowd. It's still very much here. As you guys can see, there's a big crowd behind us. But if you look on the other side, now the last time that I was here, that was a pretty big crowd. But as you can see, the energy has completely waned. I think that the left wing, they have to realize how ridiculous this is at this point. Even they're tired of it.
Even the paid activists are saying, wait a minute, I don't think I can hold up a sign that says loser President Trump on it, because they now know that it's not true. But that's an excellent point, and it was chaotic in the middle of it. It really was.
Absolutely.
We're not seeing that today. Walking around New York, what's your thoughts of this city? I guess depending on what parts of the city you go to, some of it's really bad, and some of it I feel like it's not that bad. I've talked to New Yorkers today. What's been your experience walking around the city?
I mean, I've been here a couple of times, and it varies every time depending on which area of the city you're in. I'm here for the migrant crisis. Of course, I had to pop over today because, of course, we're here to support and bring attention to
Let's talk about the migrant crisis, what you're working on.
But I'm here for the migrant crisis because, as we know, 175,000 illegal immigrants have made their way to New York. The city was going to spend $1 billion on this crisis, and then it somehow turned into $12 billion through 2025. So I really want to highlight how easy it is for illegal immigrants to take advantage of this system, because let's not forget this is a sanctuary city. And why wouldn't you come here and get free food, free shelter, free medical care? So I think this is a big issue that we need to highlight and very much hound home ahead of 2024, because a lot of people on the left as well are very upset about the border crisis right now.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw groups of, it looked like they were from Africa, maybe like a Kenya or some of these Eastern African nations, and they looked like they had their bags, like they literally just jumped off of a plane or a bus and came into the city.
I mean, that's essentially what's happening. They're crossing the border. They're taking advantage of our taxpayer dollars. And like I said, utilizing all of these various resources. Last year when I was here reporting on the Row Hotel, let's not forget that they're putting up migrants a block away from Times Square. These hotel rooms were going for $500 a night. Now, lots of patriotism flying all around everywhere. But I think, like I said, these are the issues we really need to hound home. We really need to focus in on, the political persecution of Donald Trump, the migrant crisis, how difficult and horrible the economy is for every single American. Because, again, Americans are really going to vote on the issues that personally affect them. And I feel like in regards to the left wing, they might look at the, trials of Donald Trump and be like, oh, that'll never happen to me. And, of course, that's what RSBN is here for, to show us what can potentially happen to all Americans if we don't stand up to this. But I'm here to hound home the illegal immigration crisis.
You're a rock star. I absolutely love you. I want all of our viewers to follow you right now. And how can they get all this content, this special documentary, this series you're doing on this immigration here in New York?
Absolutely. I work with Turning Point USA, so go check out their YouTube channel or go check me out on Twitter, Sav Says, or YouTube, Sav Says as well. Thank you.
You're going to be informed. And so the type of content she does is based on facts. This is what's happening. It's not an opinion piece. She's not going to rant and rave. She's not going to scream at you for 2 hours. She's going to show you exactly what's going on, present it with facts, and really let you make the decision, which all of this is a no-brainer anyway. It's common sense.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. I mean, I love doing the point-and-shoot type journalism because it allows Americans to take a peek at what's going on in the city streets and decide for themselves how they feel about the situation. Again, with the migrant crisis, that affects everybody, no matter where your politics fall.
One more question before I let you go. Turning Point has done a fantastic job of getting young college kids engaged in politics. What do you college level? Because I know that when I was in college, it was kind of hip to hate Republicans. This is back in the late 80s. Obviously, I think that's still I've got kids in school, and on their campus, I know for a fact it's trendy to hate Trump. But what are you seeing where's it going? Are we getting better at getting the information out to some of these younger generation?
I would definitely say so, and I think, too, that, you have two sides of the aisle, right? You have the portion of Gen Z that is still living at home. They know the economy's bad. They just don't know why. And like you said, I think that this is a really great opportunity for us to really highlight the bad policies that led us to this moment. So big learning opportunity for the younger generation, and I think I am optimistic about the direction that a lot of them are going in.
Once again, social medias.
Twitter, Sav Says, follow me there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Be careful. I'm going to give you a hug because we're in New York City. I got to make sure you're protected. Thank you so much as she makes her way around here. She's excellent. Her reporting on the border is some of the best. And we'll get out of the flag over here. You're getting beat up by the flag. Some of the reporting that she's done on the city streets and in college campuses is amazing. So do go follow her. I definitely appreciate her doing that. It seems like once again, and you could pan around and show this. Yes, there's people here, but I would say there's a lot of reporters, a lot of independent journalists, like we just talked to Savannah. I mean, you've got people out here, but I think probably more importantly is the side that. The protest side, if you will, is almost non-existent. I think we're starting to see, and I saw a girl walk over here earlier that was it looks like she probably came over here to mix things up a little bit instead of staying on her side because there's no activity on her side. So she decided to come over here. I just was watching someone on this. If you're just now joining us, yep, it's Monday. Yep, it's April 15th, and yep, it's 10:27 here local time. We're in. Yes, ma'am. Nice to meet you too. How you doing? Hi. American citizen. Wait, you can't say this. This is xenophobic.
I know. Then I'm xenophobic.
It's not, but I know.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong about putting America first.
And I'm racist, and I'm everything.
And you're African American, you should not be supporting President Trump.
No, I shouldn't. Wrong skin color, wrong sex. Can I say that? I'm the wrong sex. I'm the wrong everything. And I'm also an immigrant, so I have like all those X's now.
Check the boxes.
Yeah.
So why? So let me ask you a question. Why are you here?
I'm here because America has gone to hell, and New York is gone further off to hell as well. You're asking me if it's about President Trump. No, it's about this country. This is not what immigrants like me came for and come to see. We left that behind, and now we're seeing it, and it is really disgraceful. It's painful.
So where did you immigrate from, if I missed that?
I came from Barbados.
Okay, Barbados. What was it like when you came over from Barbados? What was the entry or the process?
Yeah, process. That's it. And I've been doing interviews all morning long because what am I here for? I'm here because America has that process where you have to have a visa. That's the first thing. So that's a process in itself, getting that visa. When I was in Barbados, many people were denied. And why were you denied? Because there's something, a criteria and a standard or whatever you didn't fit. So it wasn't like you just get a visa because you applied, okay? So you get a visa, and after you get that visa, you got to pay a ticket, okay? You don't just say, well, I have the visa so I can just come. You pay a ticket, and then you have to come to a port of entry, and you have to show your passport. And then if you decide you want to stay here, it's not a decision. You have to go through a process. So I went through a process, and I had to pay, and then I brought my son over, and I had to pay. And you have to pay money to be here because you have to pay for all the process you're going through. You have to be vetted. And even then, you still don't is a guarantee that you will be on the top of it. Doesn't say you're guaranteed. They say you are not guaranteed. And you know what was crazy to me? Because I listen to Right Side Broadcasting all of the time. All of the time. I was just watching you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So what was crazy is that when I went for citizenship, I didn't realize that I was an alien. We actually get an alien number. And I had a green card and I was still an alien. But you say, well, we're migrants. We're not migrants. We're aliens because we weren't born here. The alien status moves when you become a citizen.
What do you think about the people that have skipped over and kind of cut in front of the line? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I've been thinking of it, skipping over, cutting the line, however you want it. I say broad end, because there's no broad end. They all broke the law. That's not how you do it. When I was living in Barbados and any other place, you can't just walk into anyone's country. What gives you the right that you can just walk in here? You can't just walk in here. Every single one of them. And don't tell me they came for a better life. If you come for a life, you do it the right way. They should all go back.
Okay, so obviously, what do you think about the trial going on right now? I'm glad we've got over the immigration. I love it. That's a great story, and I'm glad you're here, and you're a proud American. What do you think they're doing to President Trump right now?
I'm not calling it a case. I'm not calling it a trial.
I just love the president.
I do love him, and here's what I've been saying, because all morning I've been interviewed, and I've been explaining this. You want to be a president. You have a debate, and we get to choose. You don't take out your opponent and decide for us. We get to choose. Can I choose who I want? I want to hear the positions and choose. But don't tie someone up in court with all kinds of farce trials or whatever, and then tell me, no, you get to tell me who I'm supposed to vote for. So I have a problem with that. We love President Trump. We women love President Trump. Immigrants love President Trump. Blacks love President Trump. Everyone loves President Trump because it's not only about him. This is about our country.
God bless. Thank you so much. Thanks for being a supporter of Right Side. Thank you so much. All right. So that's just a great story there, and she's right on this, because people who came to this country the legal way are disgusted with the people right now that are essentially breaking federal law, coming in this country, and then getting benefits, like instant benefits from my federal government, and being provided housing for. she's angry about that, and I think rightfully so. And I think that people that had done it the right way, that is what is most concerning to them. How you doing? Doing all right? Good to see you here.
Yeah,
How you doing?
nice to see you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Last time
What brings you?
selfie, last summer I came here.
What's your thoughts on today?
Yeah, I mean, this is all, like Sam is partisan cases because they are scared he's going to win the election. So yeah, that's why I am here. Like I went to the Trump Tower, and then I came here.
This election, how important? Where do you reside? Where do you live, by the way?
I live in Queens.
Okay. What is it like in New York City, in your area? Are they going to vote for President Trump in 2024?
They're not going to speak that loud because most of them are liberal. They're scared, right? And then when I ask, I do my kind of survey, and then they said, Trump, Trump, Trump. They're not going to speak loud, but they say Trump, Trump.
Just a little bit of fist bumps here and there, right?
Yeah, they say, yeah. I ask them, like I go to the store, like I meet so many people, and then they say Trump, Trump, Trump. And he's going to win. I'm voting first time because I became citizen like 2021, so I'm going to vote him.
We were talking about immigration earlier. What's your thoughts on all of the illegal immigration going on right now? And someone like yourself that came to this country, I would imagine, and you've got this massive open border. Is it fair that the people who came here the right way?
It's not fair because I came here legally. I win the lottery and then I got the visa and then I came here with my family. So people who came here illegally, they are getting like money. They are getting the credit. They are getting the best hotel in Midtown, like Roosevelt Hotel. We never get the hotels, and we are paying the taxes for those people, right? And it's crazy out there, I see everywhere. Like when I drive, I see those people. Like they're asking for the money. I see like a couple of people. They are with the babies. I don't know why they came here, right? That's illegal, and then it's a big problem here. There's so many people there. Yes.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Enjoy your time here. And
last summer, I took the selfie with you on the park.
Where was that at? Here?
Yeah, here at the same park. Yeah, it was the summer. Yeah.
I remember that. It was a crazy day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Crazy day.
I'm watching RSBN when the Trump rallies comes. I never missed one rally.
Okay.
No.
Here's a great opportunity for me to tell you to go download our app right now. Go on your Google, your Android, your Apple platforms.
I subscribe on the YouTube.
And Skype and YouTube are on there as well. Yeah. Or Rumble and
Rumble.
YouTube. Yeah, Rumble. Yeah. Skype, I don't know. Maybe we do need a Skype. I don't know. Might be a new one. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. As we make our way in here, let's kind of show around. I'll get with this guy. I'll get with this guy here in a second, Dion, whenever he's done. Let's show some of this. All right, so it looks like we've got a little bit more activity here than we have. How you doing, Dion? How you doing? Good. What's your thoughts on today?
I think it's great. I think I'm here actually for Don Jr. 28. I'm out early, but I think it's good because this is only going to boost us once again. These sham indictments are going to help Trump in the polls to win. I think that the Democrats overshot.
I was talking about you earlier how New York is so thankful that they have this nice core of MAGA Trump supporters here in the belly of the beast in New York. And I'm telling you, Dion, this is not an easy place to be a Trump supporter. Someone's in Texas or the Deep South, you can wear your MAGA hat, you pretty much get high fives all day long. You, my friend, are a brave individual you do what you do. But let's talk about how important it is to get President Trump back in the White House.
Well, I mean, just not off of these sham indictments alone, but just for the state of our country to make America great again. They call these people, these Democrats, progressives, but they're not progressives in any way, shape, or form. This country is going to hell in a handbasket. It's just, we need to turn this country around 180 degrees and go back to where we were when Trump first got into office. And when a lot of people ask me, when do you say make America great again? What do you actually mean? I'd say about the 1990s was a really good time in American history. We got to go back to that era where, we just worked, people came together, and then of course 9/11 happened. But we just need to turn this country around.
Yeah. Listen, also, you think about these foreign wars that we're getting ourselves in. Biden is recklessly getting us into. We got a conveyor belt of money going to Ukraine. Now we have the Iran and Israel. This escalation dragging us potentially into a war.
Well, yeah, sure. It's not Biden really isn't dragging us in the war. These other countries just see the weakness that Iran wanted to hit Israel for 50 years. They did it because they know Joe Biden's not going to retaliate. He told Bibi Netanyahu, take the win. Take the win. Just get 350 missiles, but high five. Here we go. So I see it as just as a weakness for America to right now with Joe Biden. Not really that he's actually drawing us into wars. These other countries know that he's just a weak individual who will do nothing about it.
That is a great point. I'm glad you clarified that. Also, let's talk about New York City in general. Do you feel safe? It's a city. You got these migrants coming here, crime. I guess depending on where you go, some places are better. You live here, and you often report about what's going on here. What do you see as a New Yorker?
Well, this indictment, I'd say it's not against Donald Trump or the American people. It's mostly against New Yorkers because we see the actual crime, especially with these illegal alien invasion that's coming on. And I live over in Sheepshead Bay, where there's a 5,000 migrant encampment over in my neighborhood with my children, just blocks away from my house. And they're fighting inside these tent cities that they built, and somehow, some way, the mayor's trying to convince these people crime isn't happening. All these people getting pushed in front of trains, carjackings, murders. They're destroying the Upper West and the Upper East Side of New York City. It's already gone. That's destroyed. So this hurts New Yorkers more than anything because we're using all the DA's resources, all the judges' resources to literally destroy this country over a $200,000 severance pay package.
Lastly, you are known for doing some of the coolest flag drops in the country. You've done a bunch of them. Which are some of your favorites that you can't believe that you actually pulled off?
Oh, well, Disneyland will always be my favorite. When I did on the Mark Twain boat going around, that was my favorite one. But the best picture, and I always do it for the best picture. It's like golf for me. I got to get the best picture. Trump won at Yankee Stadium was probably my favorite photograph. And I have a big poster of it up on my wall in my bedroom.
And you've got an amazing company. Let's show some of these flags up here. If I'm not mistaken, these are your flags, right?
Yeah, I make the flags, TrumpSwag.com. And I make them, I battle test them for myself first. And then if I get a lot of reaction from the Democrats, how much they hate them, then I mass produce them. The Trump or Death, Trump 2024, and of course, Junior2028.com is my next one. Yeah.
I just now noticed the other one.
Junior. I'm out early.
You are out early on this. Well, I appreciate you coming out here. I appreciate you being a part of this. And by the way, let's. What do you think about the non-presence of the protesters over there?
Well, yeah, they're coming over. They're coming over, and I know it firsthand. Being a New Yorker, I hear the black community. I hear, in the Bronx. I wear my hat everywhere in the city now. Everywhere. I'm not scared. I'll go up.
A lot of thumbs up.
Oh yeah, man. The whole city is definitely turning around. So I'm not really surprised that we have a low volume here on our side, but a very low volume on the left side because that's it. They've given up. They know that these indictments are against them too. They're New Yorkers. They're New Yorkers too.
Maybe the minimum wage for a paid activist went up and they couldn't pay him anymore. Thank you so much. Once again, not a sponsor, but TrumpSwag.com. TrumpSwag.com. Appreciate what you do, my friend. We'll see. Stay safe out here in New York City. All right, so we're going to, in a few minutes, 30 seconds, we're going to toss it over to Vanessa Broussard, who is in front of Trump Tower, to maybe give us an idea of what that situation looks like. But here in front of the courthouse at Collect Pond Park, the crowd has substantially got a little more than it was before. A lot of media, a lot of Trump supporters, but zero, I would say, people on the other side. So signing off from here, I'll turn it over to Vanessa Broussard live at Trump Tower. Vanessa, take it away.
Fifth Avenue and East 56th Street here in Manhattan, right in front of Trump Tower. A lot has come in since we last spoke to you here from in front of Trump Tower. I want to show you some first pictures of President Trump. Breaking news coming in right now. First pictures of President Trump inside the courtroom as jury selection is now underway. This picture courtesy of Alamy. Photo credit there for that photo given to Right Side Broadcasting Network. And if you look at the facial expression of President Trump in this photo, it's very similar to that famous mugshot of his, which was taken in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Fannie Willis case there in Georgia. So that look is very similar, staring into the camera looking like he means business today here in New York. But this is a man who conducts business in this city, and that's what you're looking at behind me. A skyline that this man is responsible for. But yes, that look right there is very similar to the mugshot that's now on pictures all over the world, on T-shirts, on caps, on coffee mugs, you name it. When he took that mugshot in Atlanta, it took off and took the world by storm, and this photo coming in from the courtroom looks, again, very similar. Now, I read you some of President Trump's Truth Social posts from last night into this morning. Well, there was one I have not read to you, and if you're not on Truth Social, we encourage you to do so. That is President Trump's social media platform where free speech is allowed. He did post this morning as he was going into the courtroom. He said, quote, "When I walk into that courtroom, I know I will have the love of 200 million Americans behind me, and I will be fighting for the freedom of 325 million Americans." So he says this all the time. They're not after me, they're after you. I'm just standing in the way. And if President Trump believes that he does not have a fair trial and can't get a fair trial, and that all of these cases against him, not just here in New York City, but also in Georgia and in Florida, that's the Mar-a-Lago boxes hoax. If he can't get fair trials, how can the typical everyday American expect a fair trial? If our justice system is so corrupt, they're not just being corrupt with President Trump. They will be corrupt for you as well. So that was a Truth Social post coming in from President Trump as well. Also, some new poll numbers just released from Interactive Polls here in the last 5 to 10 minutes, looking at the 2024 general election and a head-to-head matchup with President Joe Biden. When you look at Trump versus Biden, according to Interactive Polls, doing very well for President Trump in the swing states, starting with Georgia, President Trump at 52%, Joe Biden at 42%. Heading over to Nevada, where he was there a lot in the Las Vegas area during the Nevada caucus, which he won. Trump 51%, Biden 44%. Pennsylvania, where he was just this weekend, speaking to a crowd, rallying a crowd of 42,000 people on Saturday night. Trump 49%, Biden 45%. Michigan, Trump 51%, Biden 45%. Going over to Arizona, where there's a key Senate race going on with Kari Lake. But again, this is for the presidential polling. Trump 51%, Biden 45%, and then over in Wisconsin, it is pretty much neck and neck with Trump and Biden. But I want to go back to Pennsylvania, where these poll numbers from Interactive Polls has President Trump leading 49% to 45% over Biden. If you look at what happened in Schnecksville, Pennsylvania, just Saturday night, 45,000, 42,000 people arriving there to see President Trump. The line was so long, one of the longest lines I've ever seen at a Trump rally or a Trump event. If this is any indication of what the polling locations will look like come November, then it's not even this close like this poll is showing. But I said this on Saturday, and I'll say it again. I spoke to a political analyst a couple of months ago, and what she told me was that in a lot of these polls, they usually favor toward a Democrat, no matter if it's at the local level, state level, or federal level. Polls usually favor a Democrat. You saw that in 2016 with Hillary Clinton. President Trump was losing in the polls. He would tell the people, don't listen to the poll numbers. Well, he ended up winning that election. And here you are seeing him doing very well in the polls, which is great news. But if you think about what this political analyst told me, that these polls tend to lean left, If he's winning in these polls, that means he's probably doing much better than the actual numbers shown in the polls. President Trump says this often during his rallies. Just because you see me leading does not mean you need to stay at home. Still go out and vote. We need to storm the polls. We need to make sure our numbers are so strong that the Democrats cannot cheat in this election, which they were known to do back in 2020. So storm the polls, continue to do so. And days like today is another situation where we know his poll numbers will continue to grow, because the more they attack President Trump, the more upset the people of America become, and the more they realize that we really do live in a very unjust, unfair, corrupt nation. And it's not usually the people, everyday Americans, it's the people at the top. And you see this in this case with the DA Alvin Bragg and the judge Marshawn, whose daughter works for a political consulting firm that's Democrat. So if the judge has Democrat ties, how can he be fair to the leading Republican candidate for the 2024 election? Makes you wonder how fair this trial will be. Also, looking at the numbers, back in 2016 here in Manhattan, President Trump only received 10% of the vote. In 2020, he received 12% of the vote. Are the 12% of voters who voted for President Trump sitting in that courthouse today? Chances are slim. So will he actually get a fair trial? Will he get someone, 12 people in that jury box, who will be fair and just and do this correctly and go by the law of the land? Makes you think probably not. We hope so, but the chances are slim. We'll just have to wait it out and see. But President Trump has said many times that this is a trial that should be stopped right now. It should be dropped immediately. The DOJ actually did some investigation into this case, found no wrongdoing. And so, you look at the charges brought against him, the 34 charges brought against him, which typically would be a misdemeanor charge, but DA Alvin Bragg has bumped those to federal charges. So, very unfair, and makes you wonder why he would do that. Well, the answer is because you have the leading Republican candidate for president doing very well in the polls, and they're scared, so they're doing everything they can to keep him off the campaign trail, keep him from doing well in the polls, and keep him from winning the presidency come November. As we continue to bring you live coverage, team coverage here in New York City today, I want to remind you to go to our website, RSBNetwork.com. You have a viewer behind us saying that they love Donald Trump. They're here in New York City. They're just not many that we're told, but looking at the numbers and the voting, but there are a lot of people here still that love President Donald Trump, and they know that he is the reason New York City was once a flourishing city. But again, go to rsbnetwork.com, sign up for our newsletter as we continue to bring you the latest from this trial that should take 4 to 6, maybe even 8 weeks to complete. We're told that jury selection should take several weeks, and then the trial itself could take another up to 8 weeks. So we may be here a lot. You'll get a lot of that online as well. So make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms, rsbnetwork.com. Go to our newsletter, sign up for that, and also go to donate as well. You're the reason that we are able to be out here continuing to bring you the truth about what's happening to President Trump and to our great country, the demise of this nation in decline. We are here to report that to you because of your donations. So please continue to donate for us. We thank you to everyone who has donated, and thank you to those who donate today. Okay, I'm going to take a look behind me, because let me tell you, earlier today when President Trump left the Trump Tower, there was security all over and around the block. It was barricaded. And lots of law enforcement officers. You still see some law enforcement officers at East 56th and 5th Avenue. We want to thank the brave men and women in blue who protect this city. They have a tough time, as all law enforcement officers do. across the nation, but it's definitely hard. It has to be hard for a law enforcement officer to serve in a Democrat-run city when their hands are pretty much tied when it's dealing with the criminals. And we know that New York City, that the crime is running rampant in this city. Just last month, one of their own passed away. We want to give our thoughts, our prayers, our condolences to the family of Officer Jonathan Diller, a fallen officer who was shot and killed in a traffic stop just last month. Days later, his funeral was held. President Trump came into New York City to attend that funeral and console the family. On the same day as the funeral was taking place, Joe Biden, Obama, and Clinton all gathered together at a big party in New York City, a big fundraising party where they raised $25 million for their campaign. So it goes to show you they are not backers of the blue. Donald Trump is. He backs the blue. He came in just for the funeral of Officer Jonathan Diller, while Joe Biden, Obama, and Clinton partied away that night, raising money for their campaign so they can continue, hopefully, in their eyes, continue to destroy this country. NYPD has patrol units still parked around Trump Tower. So Trump Tower is just a typical day here today with President Trump in court. People are now allowed in and out as they normally would. We're seeing a lot of tourists stomping in front of the iconic front of the building behind that clock right there, taking photos with their families, and then going inside. And as we hit the 11 o'clock hour, probably having lunch. There's several shops in there, a coffee shop. There's actually a bakery now inside where they can go inside and enjoy some sweet treats. I will tell you this, while we've been out here for the last couple of hours, we've had several people ask us, what's going on today? Why are there cameras all around? What are you here reporting? And it just boggles my mind that people just don't know what's going on today. They're unaware of what's going on in our country. And this is the big news headlines of the day. It's all over the news. It's all over social media that President Trump is in New York today for this history-making court case, the first ever former president to stand trial in a criminal case, charged with 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. President Trump pleaded not guilty in April of last year in a Manhattan courtroom. Felony counts. Again, these are counts that would usually be misdemeanors, but DA Alvin Bragg says, no, for Trump, we'll make them felonies. The DOJ investigated, found no wrongdoing, but DA Bragg says, I'm still going to do what I want to do, and we're going to make them felonies. So where are we in our criminal justice system when a district attorney is being fair and unjust? Where are we? When you can take a misdemeanor or a felony and flip-flop back and forth, create a charge, increase the charge, pretty much do what you want to do. That's very scary for America. That's why we always say that our criminal justice system, that's also in decline. So we need to pay very close attention to what's going on in this case. Now, we talk a lot about jury selection going on today. That is happening right now. But what if he's found guilty? Well, that's up to the jurors. 12 jurors will sit in that box. They'll decide if he's guilty or not guilty. But the sentencing is up to the judge. And if President Trump were to plead guilty, he could serve up to 4 years in prison. But again, that's up to the judge to decide, and we'll see what happens there. But of course, back to, will we have a fair trial? Will we have a fair jury? Do we have a fair judge? Do we have a fair DA? You can answer that at home. You know my thoughts on that. All right, so let's talk about Birch Gold. You know my thoughts on them as well. They are wonderful. They can definitely help you get situated for the future. Save big with the Birch Gold Group. Turn your IRAs, your 401ks into more money. Invest with them. Text the word Trump to 989898. Very easy to do. A member of the company will call you. They'll come up with a plan that's specifically for you, not your neighbor or your coworker, for you. They'll look at what you want to invest in, a plan to get the most bang for your buck. So text the word Trump to 989898. They'll send you a free information kit. They have a wonderful 5-star A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Thousands of happy customers who write in all the time about how the Birch Gold Group has helped them sleep better at night, knowing that their money is safe and they don't have to struggle like they thought they would have to in this terrible economy, and wondering what the future looks like. They'll get you on the right path. Again, text the word Trump to 989898. That is the Birch Gold Group. All right, so what are we expecting when it comes to testimony? We're still unsure if President Trump will take the stand. If I were to guess, I would say he probably would want to, but that depends on the advice of his attorneys as well. I think that he would be the best bet when it comes to going head-to-head against him and Michael Cohen, his former attorney, who is also expected to testify in this trial. So, again, we just don't know yet if President Trump will take the stand and what his attorneys advise him to do. Michael Cohen will testify. Stormy Daniels, the former stripper, will testify as well. President Trump has said all along that he has not had any sexual relations with Stormy Daniels. He says this is all a sham. This is all fake news. This is all just a Biden crime family trial to stop him from being president and winning that election in 2024. All right, so that'll do it for us right now here on 5th Avenue in front of Trump Tower. We'll continue to watch from over here what's happening 20 minutes away at the courthouse. As we get new information in, we'll come back live to you. But in the meantime, I'm Vanessa Broussard reporting to you live from outside Trump Tower. Follow us here wherever you're watching from, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook. Thank you for watching. We'll continue to bring you the very latest. But in the meantime, we're going to send it back over to Brian Glenn, who is there with a lot of Trump supporters outside of the courthouse. You know that has to make President Trump feel good today, knowing those people are there supporting him. Brian?
All right, guys, we're back here live at Collect Pond Park, directly across the street from the courthouse. Paul Ingracia, I hope I've got your last name pronounced right, Ingracia, longtime conservative here in the New York area, obviously a supporter of President Trump. First of all, what's your thoughts on what we've seen here today in front of the courthouse?
Well, I mean, it's equal parts tragic that President Trump has to go through this, but it's encouraging to see all the support down here in the belly of the beast in Manhattan, where you expect to have a very hostile judge, jury, and so forth, here coming out to support President Trump on the streets. I mean, last year, you and I were both down here, Brian, and, you know, we had a lot of counter-protesters, a lot of Antifa. None of that is around this year. I mean, you're seeing all Trump flags, Trump 2024, all the Biden people, to the extent they exist, are not organized and pretty deflated. So, you know, I think politically it's good for President Trump. It's just a shame that he has to spend time in the courthouse, which is total disgrace and total travesty of our justice system, rather than being on the campaign trail where he should be.
Yeah. Now, you're a New Yorker. How have you seen this city in particular change over the last couple of years, and has it gotten better in certain areas, or has it gotten worse?
It's all been downhill. I mean, the migrant crisis here in New York City is the worst as it's been, you know, anywhere else. I mean, you can't ride the subway system anymore. You have illegals flooding into historic hotels like the Roosevelt Hotel, which was once a great landmark here in New York City, now forever tarnished by illegals coming in. You have crime at all-time highs. The cost of living is atrocious, driving people out of the state. And of course you have the weaponized system of justice, and that's the reason why we're down here. You don't have your constitutional liberties or rights here in New York State, so it's been run pretty much to the ground. And you know, it's a shame that, I will say, more Republicans in New York. I mean, New York was the reason why the House of Representatives kept its majority, in large part, its razor-thin majority. So I would have liked to have seen more Republicans from the New York State delegation come out and show their support for President Trump. I think that would have been a powerful message, but we don't see too many out here.
Paul, thanks for saying that, because you're the first person I've heard say that today, and he's absolutely right. If this was to go down in any other state, if in Texas or my state or Georgia or Alabama or anywhere, I would want those congressmen, those elected officials, to come down and just at least speak out and support. So great point that you pointed it out. I have not seen any elected anybody, Democrat or Republican representative here so far. So also, let's talk about what should President Trump do on day one, Paul. Assuming that we get the support of the American people and we get him elected, and what should he do on day one?
Well, he has to pardon all the J6 defendants who are now languishing in the D.C. gulag. That's a big priority. He has to close the southern border. I mean, that's a major, major concern. Obviously, the illegal crisis is at a point that is unprecedented in our history. So I think closing the border and, of course, ultimately draining the swamp. He has to get his people in there, especially in the Justice Department, the FBI, reform those agencies, downsize the size of government, and get the strong people he needs, the loyal people and the competent people in those key administrative posts.
Yeah, you've seen the support. The polling is great, head-to-head, Paul. He's basically beating, Biden almost in every poll, every state. He continues to grow the Hispanic and African-American vote, which I think is crucial as well.
Yeah, I mean, you saw a state like Florida just a couple of years ago. It was a swing state. Now it's decisively red, and a lot of those new supporters are Hispanics and non-traditional Republican demographic voter blocks. I think you're seeing the same thing in states even like New York and New Jersey, former Democrats, independents, shifting decisively in favor of President Trump because they see what is going on to our country right now with Biden's disastrous policies, both at home and abroad, and with the weaponized system of justice, which imperils not just President Trump, but all Americans and their fundamental due process rights.
So as we move on, any talking points you want to put people who live in New York City, what can they do on the local basis? I know you're active in a lot of different organizations, and I know that everyone appreciates the hard work that you do for not only America, but for particularly in here in New York, because Mike Crispy's another guy that's he's in New Jersey across the river, but he's a character. But we need people like that. It's funny, it's interesting. If you're a New York Republican, it seems like to me, you've got to be a little bit more outspoken than normal. You've got to really be.
You're battle tested. You're behind enemy lines, so of course you have to do that. And the Republicans in this state, frankly, are not the best in the world. They're rhinos. They're part of the Uni Party, so they need to be challenged. And the best way to do that, I don't know what's going on over there. The best way to do that is to come out, show your support, demonstrate. You still have the right to assemble, and that's why we're here right in front of the courthouse, because ultimately the court of public opinion is what determines elections, and that's what's going on today.
Paul, we appreciate it. How can people follow you?
I'm Paul Ingrassia, paulingrassia.substack.com, paulingrassia.substack.com, where I publish all my latest writings.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for your time, and I really appreciate your time on it. That's good insight. Where is, the Republicans here in New York? They should be here. Now, granted, they're going back in session. I get it. Hang on. Let's see what's going on over here. There's something. We've got an activist.
Brian, you get me next.
Tara, oh my Tara! That means he wants to fuck. Where's Andrew? Tara. Oh my God.
Okay, obviously, when we talked earlier about the cast of characters that come out to these rallies, this is exactly what I'm talking about. And this is just meant to let's listen in. I know there's going to be some language here, so I apologize.
How you gonna cross over a piece of garbage and just roll around with the cooch all out? Got white butt cheeks with brown skin. Never seen that one before. Yeah, interview this incel. Come on.
Okay, so before she came, this event here was relatively uneventful as far as I'll turn around here. I know the sun's glazing your sky. I'll follow you around if you want to do that. But before she came here, obviously, this is all made to get attention. This is nothing but a publicity stunt. Now she's crashing an interview done right now. This is this.
It's 11 o'clock.
Ask me a question. Ask me a question.
You're getting a little too much.
Ask me a question, Andrew.
I got no question to ask you, crackhead. I'm not intellectually curious about crackhead Barney. That's just not one thing that I've done right there. That's just one thing. Look at that. She's leaning into me over here. I think I got. Did I get heat tuned by crackhead Barney? I think I got heat tuned by crackhead Barney. Hey, Alvin, really?
You should be lucky.
I just got
You should be lucky. You should be lucky. You should be lucky. You should be lucky.
Hey guys, you do it again. You do it again. We're calling a cop over here.
Oh, we got Andrew Giuliani.
Because I stand with Israel.
Why?
Because.
So you want 30,000 Palestinian kids dead or
do,
more?
Do you want kids being beheaded? Is that what you want?
The Zionists are doing it.
The
Zionists are doing it.
You're into some very, very dirty stuff there,
I
crackhead.
think Hamas.
But do you like it when women are raped, when Israeli women are raped, that they actually end up getting stabbed with nails in their vagina
where are you getting your
afterwards?
facts?
And then actually doing that?
These aren't facts.
Are you getting your facts from the
These
United
aren't
Nations?
facts.
Is that where you're getting your
These
facts
aren't
from?
facts.
That
Have you
makes
seen
a lot of sense.
Instagram videos? Have you seen
That makes a lot
Instagram?
of
So
sense.
you agree with genocide.
That's what?
You agree with genocide.
I am
You
pro
like
Israel.
the genocide
I'm pro standing
of
up for
Palestinian
Israel
people.
right there, and absolutely for standing up for our Israeli brothers.
Oh yeah! That's bullshit. Andrew Giuliani
always,
agrees with genocide.
I agree
Andrew
with
Giuliani agrees with the killing of 30,000 Palestinian children.
Who gets up at 11:30 because she's taking a little too much crackhead over here. Who ends up
Don't you want some of my crack?
We're mixing it up.
Don't you want some of my crack?
I don't mind dealing with this one. I can't handle her. If I can't handle her, then I can't handle anybody.
Exactly.
She's the worst. Look at this.
Exactly.
Come on.
Wait, what makes me the worst?
Crackhead,
What
give me
makes
some
me
room.
the worst?
Give me
What
some room,
makes
you
me the
crackhead.
worst? Wait, what
Give me
makes
some
me the
room,
worst?
crackhead.
You said I'm
Give
the
me some
worst.
room. Yeah,
What
you're the
makes me
worst.
the worst? What did I do?
Because you have no problem actually having kids being burned alive in Israel. That's what you're all
That's
about.
what Israel does to
That's what you want.
Palestinians.
That's
That's
what
what
you
Israel
want.
does to Palestinians. That's what Israel does to Palestinians.
Were you on a crack binge on
I
October
don't
7th?
know.
Is that what happened?
Were you?
Were you? No,
Did
I was
your
here.
dad take
I'm
crack?
actually watching
Did your
all
dad
this
take
right
crack?
now. Were
You're
you
taking crack.
with your buddy Hunter? Is that what it was? You
I
stuck
don't
in
know.
with Hunter on October 7th?
We like
I
crack.
give it a mic drop
We like
on that
crack.
one there, Barney.
We like crack.
Hasta
We
luego.
like
See you
crack,
tomorrow,
bitch.
Barney.
We like crack, bitch.
Bye-bye, Barney. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
So you're a dirty Zionist, Andrew.
Don't touch me.
You're a dirty Zionist, Andrew.
I am pro-Israel now.
That's disgusting. You're losing the propaganda war. You're losing the propaganda war.
Yes.
You're losing the propaganda war.
Because when I look at somebody that has the facts, I think
You're losing the propaganda war.
Do you support Hamas? Is that?
Yes,
she does.
Yes.
You support
Yes.
terrorists?
I'm a Hamas whore.
Crackhead
I'm
Barney
a
supports
Hamas
terrorists.
whore. You're a fucking terrorist.
There you go.
I'm a Hamas whore.
Okay.
Hamas whore.
We've had enough.
Hamas whore.
We've had enough.
Hamas
There you
whore.
go. That's what you have.
Hamas whore.
How can you let anybody?
I'm a gay homo Hamas whore.
That's
I'm a gay homo Hamas.
All right, I'm going to back off of this. Joe, let's. I think at this point I'm going to dip out of this. It comes to a certain point that I'll cover a little interaction, and then it comes to a certain point I want nothing to do. My good friend Lou, how you doing? Good to see you too. I gave that about probably 3 minutes more attention than I should have given that. But to Andrew Giuliani going into, I guess, debating the crack woman, I think what he was called, crack woman.
Say that on YouTube. We don't want to get banned, but yes, she is some type of crack something.
She's a paid activist is what she is. Let's talk about, you brought up something I think that was very insightful, why we're not seeing anyone on the protest side. You brought up an excellent point. I want us to recap that. First, I met you about this time last year. I was just standing right up there, and I was kind of getting heckled by, I think, a homeless guy at that point, or another paid activist. You stepped in and was like, hey, Brian, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But let's talk real quickly about, we'll get into your content because I want everybody to know who you are and follow you. I think that's important. But why aren't we seeing a lot of protesters here today?
Well, like Jordan Peterson said, a bunch of people were showing up to his campuses when he was doing late arrivals, like around 12, 1 p.m. So he tricked them. He started doing it in the morning. Everybody's been out here since 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Those leftists, liberals, Marxists, whatever, they're not coming out here that early in the morning. Let's just be honest. Last time they were motivated because it was Trump's first time being arraigned and all these different things. But the motivation has left because they have a new scam. It's called the Palestine scam, where they jump from scam to scam, which is BLM. Now it's Palestine. And of course, that's just what these paid activists do, in my opinion.
So they were here last time because he was getting arrested. They could follow that. But the story of this trial and the reasonings behind it, I think they don't, have the mental capacity to keep up with what's going on in our country politically. They just know they should come to this date, hate this guy, say these things, and go on.
Well, like you said, they don't even know what's going on with the Trump trials. I'm pretty sure none of them keep up with it. Yeah, and the only thing they know is that they probably read somewhere that today we got to go protest for Palestine, and we got to just stand up for Palestine. We don't have no idea why, and they'll be somewhere downtown probably today. But that's about it.
They're going to be somewhere on Wall Street around 2 o'clock is what I heard from a source. But that does explain why you don't see him here. And you brought up another aspect of the demo of these people, and they're young. They've got a lot of free time, obviously. They may be part-time college, but let's kind of talk about who these activists are.
Well, I do want to give them some type of credit. A lot of people don't, but you got to think about it this way. I was once one of those young people. I'm 27 years old. When I was 19, 18 years old, I was looking for purpose, and I was looking to make a difference. That's what they're trying to do. The problem is they're being misguided. So they have passion, but it seems very misguided passion, uninformed passion. And a lot of them don't even know what's at stake here today. So that's my opinion as to why a lot of these people, they do have passions, they do have good intentions most of the time. Maybe that's too much to say, but yeah, most of them are just young kids that are hungry to do something, and they're being captured by the college system. Most of these colleges here in New York are all liberal anyways, NYU, Pace, all they're learning is how to be against Donald Trump or against, any Republican or any type of conservative ideology.
Yeah, it's misguided compassion is a lot of times what I call that as well. Let's talk about the content you create. One thing I love about New York City is we've met a lot of people that have their own YouTube channels and other platforms, and I love they're out here doing their thing, kind of talking about New York City. Let's talk about your content.
Well, yeah, I believe we're making a huge impact. A lot of different people from New York City. As you see some wild stuff going on. Don't want to show you that. It's too crazy. But I believe that New York is turning around slowly, and it's growing. And I believe that in the Bronx, I'm making an impact because people that look like me, they're finally starting to realize that we all have aligned. We might align with somebody from the South that's white, that got a beard, that don't look nothing like them. And they're starting to realize that we all have conservative values that we grew up with, which is why you see a lot of the people that are Hispanics coming into America, a lot of them from Cuba, a lot of them that come from this communist socialist ideology or economy. They know the consequences to what's happening in the United States of America. That's why you see a lot of them. So a lot of them are looking at me and they're attaching themselves to it. And I love that, because if you look like somebody, or sometimes that might just be it. You might want to listen because you look like somebody. So the good thing is that I'm able to capture everybody. And I have panels, and I'll close it with this. I'll have panels where you see the most different races, the most different styles of beings. And I love that. That's what's called unity. And that's what the 1% is afraid of, that we all come together.
This is such a great interview. Lou, I'm so thankful for you. And you've got people that are in this space that are different, and you laid it out because we want people that could be able to identify with you. Yeah. And because they'll say, wait a minute, he's got some brown skin. He's not supposed to like President Trump. Or, hey,
I'm bridging the gap. This is the most important thing, and this is why I believe I'm demonetized on YouTube and I've been hit hard, is because I'm bridging a gap that was missing for probably the last 25, 30 years. It's bridging the gap between me Brian, me, and the next different guy that might look like me, that might think Brian is this racist guy or whoever. They never met Brian. They don't know Brian, but I know Brian. So that's what I'm saying. I think bridging the gap between everybody in New York, I think we could turn the state around and make it more to the center, at least, because it's so far left.
It is far. Okay, how can people watch your content? We got a little skirmish going on and off right now. Here's what's funny, Lou. None of this was going on until she got here. None of this was going on until. Think about this.
Yeah. So for those that cannot see what's going on, there's an argument going on. This is what. I don't know. They can hear that, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty passionate.
Yeah. Maybe let's turn around.
Just show a little bit, maybe. You want to be careful.
We got police coming in now. As they probably should. Look, I'll be honest with you. As soon as she walked in here, being like that,
good job, baby. Get out of here. Yeah.
So she's being escorted out by New York police.
That's just attention-seeking animal. That's what she is, and she's known for that. And this is what they probably get paid to do. This is what mostly all the Trump protests will probably look like in liberal cities. People trying to antagonize, cause fights, cause commotion. Good thing that officer stepped in. That's good.
It is good. Okay, going back to your content, your channel.
Oh yeah.
How can people find you? Sorry, we got.
We're good.
We came on top of the show. We knew the show would be fluid, that things would happen and break out. And that's a good example. But how can people find your content, consume it, and support you?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Rumble and YouTube at Lou Valentino, on Locals at Lou Valentino, even on X at Lou Valentino. And I appreciate you, Glenn. The city always welcomes you. Every time I'm here, you got me, man.
Can we talk about sports just for a second? We got another little guy running from her. He needs to.
Yo. Yo, but there's another situation going on right there, too. Yeah, there's like one cop, two cops. There's not enough cops for this.
There's not enough cops out here right now.
But they're all coming in now.
Yeah, well.
He's gotta go.
He's got a black eye for one thing. I'm not sure. He lost a fight somewhere. I would imagine he's being escorted out. And I think he actually, I couldn't tell if he was a friendly or not, but there's one thing I was going to ask you, and it slipped my mind right now. Sports. Giants, how are we looking this season? With the draft coming up?
With the draft coming up, we're looking pretty good. We're looking solid. Look, I got to say, as a New York Yankees fan and Rangers fan, I'm just focused on those because the Yankees are starting off great, and then the hockey team, which is the New York Rangers, the only hockey team in New York. Don't listen to people when they say New York Islanders. No. It's just the Rangers. We're looking going to the playoffs now. But yeah, Giants all the way, man. I'm all about the blue and red teams in New York. That's it. If they're not blue and red, I just can't root for them.
It's crazy how New York's got so many sports teams. You know what I'm saying? There's the sports world here. There's always something going on in this city.
There's always something going on. But mostly what's going on today is Trump, which is just crazy, right? Because when you think of Trump, you think of every sports athlete that used to love him in the city. He was on every rap song. If you look at Trump's history, which I did, and that's what my channel was focused on, I was like, yo, why are they going after this guy? Why do they call this guy racist? Why do they say all these bad things? And when you look at the history of Trump, it's just ridiculous. Like, he was on 50 Cent. 50 Cent's from New York. He was on 50 Cent radio. And they were saying the N-word here, N-word there. They were chilling with Trump. And now all of a sudden everybody's just turned against him because of political reasons. If you look at The View back in the early 2000s when they first had him on, look at Oprah. It's just the biggest switch up. But once again, I believe that that's just the 1% trying to stay in control. Like I said, I broke down Trump and the CIA. You guys can look at that video. I don't want to do a crazy promo, but Trump and the CIA and how he moved into more private sectors and private negotiating with CIA agents and stuff like that. It's just Trump's moves when he first got to the White House is, to me, one of the main reasons why they're going after him and why you see so many things happening here in the city, especially in New York.
We got police here now. All right, here we go. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Take care. God bless. Man.
Yep. Thank you, Lou Valentino, and we're gonna probably, we've got police. It took, until she showed up. This place was relatively calm, but then she came in with the circus act, which brought in the media, which brought in her desire to probably cut up more, and that's what you saw. But anyway, I apologize for the language. Yeah, I apologize for the language you might have saw. What's your name? Dorian. Where are you from?
New York City.
How do you like it today? What's your thoughts on today?
Well, I'm for Trump. I'm totally for Trump. I seen him come in the motorcade. He's great. He's the only one who can save America. Really, he's the only one.
I'm always surprised just how many Trump supporters are in this city.
Me too. I think they're a little quiet, you know. I think he's got to do the rally at the end, the Madison Square Garden.
Would you love to see a rally at Madison Square Garden?
I would definitely go.
I think that would probably be the most covered rally we've.
He would come out and really support him because I've talked to people, but they're just kind of quiet about it. But I think they're really here. I think they really would support him.
What should President Trump do on day one when he comes in here?
Build the wall. Yeah, just close down the border. He's got to do that. He's got to stop the crime. Yes.
Want to get a picture real quick?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, let's do that. But I got to go on and just pay some bills.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
So
God
much.
bless. Thank you for being out here. I love
RSBN.
Oh,
I watch it all the time.
We genuinely appreciate you. Trust me, we do. Thank you very much. God bless. I just love that. Let's turn around here so I don't have the lights bleeding the camera. Let's talk about our friends over at Tax Network USA. Today is April 15th. Today is tax day. You got to get it done. And whether or not you owe back taxes from a year, 2 years, 3 years, doesn't matter. Go check these guys out at Tax Network USA and get rid of that anxiety that might be over. The information for Tax Network USA is on your screen. Tax Network USA. They're A+ from the Better Business Bureau. They can absolutely help you with your tax problems. Tax Network USA. That's Tax Network USA. As we adjust the camera there, this is what we thought would happen today on all of this. Tax Network USA. Tax Network USA. Sun's out. It's a beautiful day here in New York City. Yesterday we had mostly sunny skies, a little bit of patchy rain in and out. The last previous 2-3 days it has rained from what I've been told every single day. But today the skies are out. It's blue. I call them bluebird skies, the sunny skies right now for day one of this jury selection. Now this could go up to a week or so on the jury selection, and once the jury is selected out of 500 people to find that 12 that's impartial, and I don't know if that's possible here in New York City, the trial is expected to last about 3 weeks. Once the jury is selected, President Trump is scheduled and mandated to be in the courtroom Monday, Tuesday, Thursday from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So obviously he is going to be here quite a bit. But like I said at the top of the show, the media presence that's here, and as far as all the remarks that he might give after a trial, in my opinion, weighs more than any rally that he could ever do, because we've got world media here for him. And of course, we love the rallies, and it's a great messaging platform for him. But these press, the amount of press here will give him press as well. I'm just every time I hear somebody scream, I just want to make sure everything's okay. Come over here to you. How you doing?
All right, Brian. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Let's talk about first why we're here today, and then we'll talk about what you're involved with.
Well, I'm here today to support Donald J. Trump. I feel that he's the only victim in this case, and actually the American people are the victims in this case. They keep trying to make up charges on this man. He's the most vetted candidate we've ever had in American history. They're trying to nail him on everything.
When the facts don't really go in that direction, they're still going to go after him.
There's nothing stopping him, and it's obvious that the Biden administration is colluding with all of the people bringing these cases. You're seeing them having meetings at the White House, and it's total collusion, and it's election interference. They're trying to keep Donald Trump in a courtroom instead of out campaigning where he needs to be.
But right before I came to you, I actually think the media coverage he gets off of this is huge, without a doubt. Well, they're going to listen to him every day. And granted, he can't go do campaign stops.
Right.
But they're going to talk about him every single day.
Listen, it's BS that we need to be here for this particular reason, but I love seeing everybody. I love seeing the support, and that's why he's going to go up in the polls again every time they try to bring a case like this.
Let's talk about New Jersey for Trump. Let's talk about VoteJerseyJoe.com.
So, thank you for bringing that up. Yep. So my name is Jersey Joe Belnome, and I am running for Congress in the 11th Congressional District.
Who's in there now?
Mikey Sherrill, Congresswoman. And, we need America First candidates. We need America First representatives, because when Donald Trump wins in November, he's going to need candidates and representatives like me to support his vision and people that represent America first. Absolutely.
What would you say the number one agenda should be for President Trump when he gets back in office?
We need to restore integrity in our government. We need to secure our border. You know, there's a whole list of items underneath the border that's causing. It's more than just America being better off when Donald Trump's president. The whole world is better off. We're seeing what's happening around the world. There's no stability. When you have weak leadership in America, the whole world is in chaos. It's a dumpster fire right now. And it's like Donald Trump says, everything Biden touches turns to shit.
It's interesting that you talked about bringing integrity back. We had earlier, they talked about accountability, holding people that have weaponized the DOJ and the FBI accountable for what they've done. That's a little bit in that same space of let's just clean up our government the best we can and make sure that, like the FISA warrants, great example. You know, they can come spy on Americans without the use of a warrant, unless you spy on somebody in Congress. Like if you were to get in Congress, they've got to notify you before they spy on you.
You know, it's rich because unfortunately that didn't pass, and that's exactly what they did to Donald Trump. We saw when he got elected, they were spying on him and everybody in the whole campaign. And then they were releasing all these headlines and like, how the hell are they getting all this information? They abused it. It's the weaponization of our Justice Department and FBI, and that's something I'd like to reform and restore integrity in.
As far as New Jersey speaking, how has this Biden administration, the policies, how's it affected New Jersey in particular?
You know, so I'm only my district is only 10 miles out of where we are right now. So, you know, this place is flooded with illegal aliens. They're committing crimes. They're coming to my district committing crimes as well. It's already happened. You know, every state is a border state right now. And you know, New Jersey is no exception.
There you go. Once again, that website for people to get more about your platform.
VoteJerseyJoe.com. Please visit, donate. You know, I'm up against the machine here, and you definitely want.
How long had that person been in Congress? I'm not familiar with that district. So.
About 3 terms.
Okay. So yeah. You've got a little bit of a little mini institution in there right now.
Yes, yes. Yeah. But everything is flippable, especially in a year where Donald Trump's on the ballot. And
what does the polling look for you right now?
They didn't issue any polling yet. Yeah. But it's a +6, I believe.
Knocking on doors, I would imagine.
Doors, supermarkets, media interviews.
Good old grassroots campaign. Right?
Yes, thank you.
You're absolutely right. Vote Jersey Joe. Nice website, by the way. That was.
It's a call to action.
You're the only Joe that's on. That could be that.
Yes, I do have a primary in June. So make sure you come out and support me.
There you go. All right. Thank you so much. We'll get out of the way over here. Let me. We'll get over here. We got to pay some bills with talk about some stuff. Let's talk about the wellness company. How to get away from all that. The wellness company, guys. This is something that we absolutely need to have, and we don't know what the future, as far as the next pandemic's concerned. We don't know anything about that. But what you can do is check out our friends at the wellness company. The information for that is on your screen. Get the medicine, the meds that you need to make sure that if in light of anything that would happen, that you and your family is protected. So information, Dr. Peter McAuliffe and some great doctors developed this emergency medical kit. Go check it out. The Wellness Company. The information is on, sorry.
I just need a minute.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Nothing like being live on jumping some lights. I saw it. So anyway, I apologize to that media outlet. Go check it out. The Wellness Company. Information for that is on your screen, and we can't talk about them enough. We can't talk about how valuable they are as well. So go check it out. Dr. Peter McAuliffe, the Wellness Company. This is the scene now. I would probably say, since the distraction kind of exited out of here, you've got a little bit more of just your still photographers and some of the supporters that were here from the very beginning. There is a good shot of the flag there. And that is a courthouse across the street. You've got Media Row that we started off this broadcast at. I would probably say, if I was to compare this to last time, it double the media that is here now than was here whenever Trump was indicted on the last time we were here at Collect Pond Park. So huge media presence here. It is a global story. It's just not a national story. It has turned into a global story. I remember these two ladies sitting down right now How you sitting down on the bench right now? I remember talking to those two ladies. We'll talk to them just a second. They're doing an interview right now. But you know, people are very passionate here. You've got the people that, in my opinion, are totally paid to do what they're doing, and that's why they show up, to be distracted, and they show up to be basically, you know, draw some attention to them. But then you have the people that genuinely want to, you know, save America. They're genuinely here. They love this country. They're not paid to come here and support President Trump, but all of these other, you know, political activists on the other side that are against President Trump, they're paid. These guys are paid activists. There's no way that somebody wakes up in the morning and tells themselves, I'm going to go ahead and venture down come down to, you know, to this area and protest because they just, you know, they have nothing better to do that day. So it's kind of interesting. And you know, you do have a few people. Let's just, if people are joining us right now, they'll say, hey, what's going on? Where's all the protesters? There's behind me. We'll get a good shot of that. That is where, you know, the protesters would have been. But as we talked about earlier, this is interesting that the people that were so involved with the first protest have moved on to the Free Palestine protests, where they pop up around cities and a lot of times in transportation districts or areas around a city, a subway, a highway, you know, airport areas. So I've been told here in New York City they're going to plan a protest around Wall Street at 2 p.m. That might explain why some of them aren't here. But I also think that initially this whole Trump movement, this protest, was purely based on the fact that they were told to hate this guy. This guy was being arrested, and you should hate him for this, and that. When they have moved on, so they don't follow the policies, and a lot of times if you try to engage one of these activists, they probably know one or two talking points, and they generally scream at you over and over again, just like we saw the girl earlier do to Andrew Giuliani. They don't necessarily know policies. They just know how to be disruptive. And I think this young, misguided compassion group that had been here before to show a presence, I think they've moved on to obviously something much different, something that the Palestine movement is something more emotional, and they're doing that. I am seeing kind of some motorcades move through here. I'm not sure if it's police. I've got some vans. A lot of times they'll put some vehicles in place. I don't necessarily see that. I'm going to check some messages here to see if I've got anything follow up from the campaign or from legal defense. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything here. Bear with us. Live look here. Collect Pond Park as we are coming up at 11:34 here local time. I plan to go to about 12 or so, and we'll break away from this. This does look like it's starting to subside some. And then obviously if President Trump does make any remarks today from the courthouse, we'll try to get those, or from our Trump Tower, we'll certainly be able to provide that to you as well. So we'll be able to bring those remarks to you. So we're going to probably, I don't know if we have Vanessa on standby. We can perhaps toss it over to her to see if she's heard any developments in the last hour or so. We can also get a look at Trump Tower to see if there's any support gathered around that as well, as that's been one of the focal points. In the past it has been for this. And let's see if we can get over here. Yes, follow me. Sorry. How are you guys doing? I remember talking to you guys last year, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. Brian from Right Side Broadcasting Network. Yeah. You speak English or? A little? Trump. You support Trump?
Yes.
Why?
Why? If you support common sense, you support Trump. If you support the Bible truth, you support Trump. If you want your children like Balloon, like Ivanka, you support Trump. If you want your children like Hunter Biden, you can support everybody. Yeah.
I love it. And of course, you guys talk about your political persecution.
Yes. Because he do everything not wrong. It's good. Why? Why now is a criminal? I don't know.
This is something you see in other countries do to people, not here in the U.S.
In China, if the governor want your money, they can make you a victim. Yeah.
God bless you guys being out here. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless. We the people, one day, one vote, one paper. Who can't get on? This is great right here. This is common sense. I don't know. One day on paper. Voter ID. I don't know. I can't get on a plane if I don't have an ID. I can't even a lot of times pick up or rent a car or anything else without a voter ID, without an ID.
Tax. You can't vote, right? If you are not citizen, you can't vote. If you can't do anything for this country, why you vote?
One day, yeah, one day. No like 2020 is a like a season.
One month.
Yeah, just one day. Word.
I love these women. They're out here showing their support, showing your support to President Trump. One day.
No war season, no one month. Yeah, it's terrible. That's a lot of cheating inside.
A lot of cheating on the inside. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I would remind everybody to follow me on social media at Brian Glenn TV across the board, X, True Social, at Brian, Facebook, Instagram as well. We'll be out here posting up some videos here. We're also going to see if we can get the very latest of what we can expect as we go through this week. I know Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays have been reserved for this criminal trial, but I'm not sure what the situation is in regards to this week. So we'll try to get a little bit more information. And if there are any remarks from President Trump, we'll make sure we bring that to you as well. Even when we break off here in a little bit, we're going to monitor that situation, and we definitely will drop in and be able to inform you on that. Also, don't forget to sign up for our newsletter as well, rsbnetwork.com. Sign up for our newsletter. Grace Saldana has done a fantastic job on laying out a newsletter that is awesome. It comes right to your inbox, and you can get the news you need to know for you and your family. So go to our website for that as well. You can also donate on the website, rsbnetwork.com/donate. We're gonna monitor the situation here. We've got more people coming up with their little displays or whatever. We'll see what that's all about. We'll bring that to you. In the meantime, Vanessa Broussard is live out front of Trump Tower, and we'll get the very latest from her. So, Vanessa, we know what the situation is here. What is it like over there in front of Trump Tower?
Hey, Brian, we're continuing to track President Trump from outside Trump Tower on 5th Avenue here in Manhattan. It's not like you see over there at the courthouse, a lot calmer out here along East 56th Street and East 57th Street, the block that surrounds Trump Tower. I'm going to step out of the way so you can get an idea of what it looks like along this block. As you can see, just a typical day here in New York City. Now, there were much more law enforcement officers and barricades this morning. If you're just now joining us, this was all barricaded off as President Trump exited the side of the building and to his motorcade as they drove 20 minutes to the court building where he is right now. And there were several people outside, dozens of people, supporters of his, shouting, "We love you." As he walked out of the building, he gave a wave to the supporters as well as to the media over here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. He gave a wave here as well. So right now, you had mentioned earlier, Brian, Are there some supporters gathered around here? No, I think they're all heading your way. The answer is that we have seen a lot of people walk by us here in the last couple of hours, and there have been plenty of people to ask us, where is President Trump? And we tell them he's at the courthouse, and they said, okay, thank you, we're heading that way. So they're not gathered here because they know he's not here. They're wanting to go where he's at, and that's over there at the courthouse. Now, I'm assuming that when he ends his case today, the court hearing today, that when he returns back to Trump Tower, we'll have a crowd here gathered as well. But in the meantime, everyone just wants to be where President Trump is, and we're just sending them over to the courthouse. That's where he is right now, but reminding all of these supporters that he'll be back here sometime this afternoon, and Right Side Broadcasting Network will be here monitoring the situation. Like Brian just mentioned, we're still waiting to hear what the rest of the day looks like from the Trump team, and once we get clarification on that, we'll definitely be the first to let you know here, coming to you live from Trump Tower. Now, when President Trump walked into court this morning, he did have some words to say before he entered the courtroom, and one of the ones that really stands out to me, a quote from President Trump says, quote, "I will run for president from jail." If that doesn't give you hope, I don't know what will. So even though Alvin Bragg and Peekaboo James and all the corrupt leaders in this city are trying to bring him down, he says, no matter the case, I will still run from jail. He says, quote, "This is a political persecution, not a prosecution." He says this is a persecution, an absolute assault on America. President Trump went on to say on Truth Social, "I just want my voice back. This crooked judge has gagged me. Unconstitutional, rigged trial," he says. And that's because of the gag order that the judge had placed on President Trump. President Trump saying that the left, the Democrats, can talk about him in the case. But since the gag order is now in place, President Trump is not allowed to talk about the case at all. And President Trump claiming there that this is unconstitutional and definitely not fair. Now, the reason that this has taken place is because of the polling numbers. The left is scared. We all know that. President Trump is dominating in the polls. The latest polls from Interactive Polls shows that in the general election come November, that Trump is leading right now 53% against Joe Biden. And among independent voters as well, that was a key concern heading into 2024. How would the independent voters sway their decision when it comes to Joe Biden and President Trump? Well, the latest numbers just out today shows a great showing for President Trump, 59% to Biden's 41%. So President Trump doing very well with independent voters, because even those independent voters know that this is all rigged. These are all sham cases. These are all witch hunts against President Trump, and this all needs to end. We have big concerns in this country, but the left is only concerned about stopping President Trump. Well, before we go on more with what's happening in court right now, I want to remind you about this great product. We'll take a little break here to tell you about this great product that's wonderful for your skin, for men, for women, you name it. They're based out of Texas, and it's great skincare. It's called AnglePaste, and it'll help you with your wrinkles. It'll help you with sunspots. It'll help you with bruises, scars, you name it. It just makes its customers feel so much better. So many testimonials about how much better people feel with this AnglePaste. They are patriotic people. This company supports our veterans. They hire our veterans first for this company. So make sure you support them. This cream is like nothing you'll find on the market. So you'll get it right here on RSBN. We'll tell you all about it. It contains 0 chemicals, hydrates your skin without feeling greasy. People are saying they look younger. We all want to look and feel younger, right? Well, here's your opportunity to do so. Get the Miracle Cream that everyone is raving about. AnglePaste Miracle Cream. That information is on your screen. Your skin will drink it up. All you have to do is go to AnglePaste.com. That's AnglePaste.com. Use the RSBN code at checkout, RSBN, and you will get a discount on your order. Now, we've been outside here of Trump Tower all morning. Brian has been outside of the courthouse, but what's happening inside the courthouse? Well, jury selection begins. This isn't a jury selection like your typical trial that may just last a day or two. This is going to take some time. We're expecting days of jury selection, if not up to 2 weeks of jury selection here in Manhattan. And so in order to be selected, you have to be a Manhattan resident. You have to speak English. You have to answer a survey or questionnaire of 40-plus questions. And the attorneys from both sides, the prosecutors and the defense, will question each potential juror to see if they are fit to sit in the jury box. 12 will be chosen. Now, will that be fair? Just a reminder that we are in a Democrat city. In 2016, only 10% of the voters here voted for Trump. In 2020, only 12% of the voters here voted for Trump. So how can President Trump get a fair trial in New York City? We already see that he's being persecuted, in his words, persecuted by the judge and the DA. But now will he do so? Will that happen with the jury? Do people just not like Trump and they want to see him fail? We hope that the jurors are truthful. We hope they're mindful. We hope that they go by the law. They look at the evidence, they listen to the testimony, and they make the correct decision based on the evidence that was shown in court, not off of their personal feelings about the top candidate on the Republican side for the 2024 election. They'll be asked if they follow President Trump on social media. That may be a make or break deal. This is a very high-profile case. President Trump is all over the news. He's all over social media. So will they be fair? Now, if this trial lasts for up to 8 weeks, can the jurors not watch television during that time, the news? Get on social media. It's all over Facebook. It's all over X, which is formerly Twitter. It's all over Instagram. Can this truly be a fair trial in this high-profile case? Now, when the 12 jurors are chosen, they'll only be known by number to you and me and to the rest of the public. The only people who will know their names is the prosecution, the defense team, President Trump, and the judge. To everyone else, they will just be known by number. Now, looking at the case itself, President Trump has pled guilty to all of these charges brought against him. He did so in a Manhattan courtroom last April. In April of last year, he pled not guilty to these charges. Trump says all this is a witch hunt to hurt his 2024 campaign, that he is innocent, he has done nothing wrong, he has not had sexual relations with Stormy Daniels, and that he had no idea where Michael Cohen was spending this money exactly. So if Michael Cohen pled guilty to certain charges in his cases, which is separate than Donald Trump's, Donald Trump was not aware of what exactly these payments were being made to. And Donald Trump, again, maintaining his innocence, saying he is not guilty, that this is a sham. This is the Democrat-run city of Manhattan, New York City, trying to bring him down and interfere with the 2024 campaign. And, of course, keeping him under a gag order during this time. Now, very interesting. I haven't brought this up yet today. Just not long ago, President Trump posted on his Truth Social page a picture from 2018 of a handwritten statement by Stormy Daniels, which she denied at that time any sexual relations. So she claimed it, then she denied it in a written statement. That was in 2018. And now she's claiming it again. So is someone like this, can they be trusted? She's going back and forth. She's wishy-washy. The same thing with Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen, years ago, talked about how trustworthy President Trump was, how wonderful he was, what a truthful working man that he was. But now he's going back and saying the opposite. So you have two key witnesses, Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen, taking the stand, and it seems like they can't get their story straight. Stormy Daniels, did you or did you not have sexual relations with President Trump? First you said you did, and then in this handwritten statement you said you didn't, and now you're saying that you did again. You cannot be trusted. And I hope that the jury sees that. And I hope that when they do see that they make the correct decision when they're coming up with a verdict. I also believe that President Trump's defense team will focus on the felony charges, the 34 felony charges, which should be misdemeanors. In any typical case, the charges brought against him should be misdemeanors. The DOJ investigated once they were brought up as felonies from DA Bragg. The DOJ investigated and found no wrongdoing, but the DA continued to keep them as felonies, which could serve up to 4 years in prison. This seems like a political witch hunt to me. Just not fair, unfair. Where are we in our political justice system? Where are we in our justice system when a DA can come up with whatever charges they want and then decide amongst themselves that they want it to be a misdemeanor or a felony? It's a very scary day here in America, and it's very worrisome, not only for President Trump, for all Americans, because I would hate for it to be you. I would hate for it to be me, because it's just not fair these days, and we just want fairness. So hopefully, God willing, this trial will be fair. It should be dropped, but if it continues to move forward, we just hope that it is fair and the jury does what's right. Taking a look at Trump Tower behind me, I want to show you as we start nearing the end of our broadcast. We're seeing a lot of people coming in and out of Trump Tower, a lot of tourists taking pictures on the outside with their families and walking inside. Very beautiful inside. You can imagine. I haven't been inside just yet today. I was inside yesterday. I didn't go inside yet today. But you can imagine that there's a lot more security on hand inside today as tourists come in and out. And when President Trump comes back from the courthouse, they will again shut down these roads, block these roads, no in and out. Also for pedestrians as well, riding their bikes and or walking, they cannot go back and forth here on this block. This is East 57th and East 56th along 5th Avenue. Now, giving you another idea, if you've never been to New York City, we are in a prime area of Manhattan. Taking a look, you just saw Gucci, you see Tiffany and Company, you see Louis Vuitton, you see Prada right across the street from Trump Tower. These are your top designers, name brands. You have to have big money to shop at these locations. And so this is the area known for. Fifth Avenue of New York City is known for its shopping and these classy designers and just the classy area of the city. And this is right smack dab in the middle of where Trump Tower stands tallly, beautifully, proudly. And President Trump has said many times that DA Alvin Bragg, Peekaboo James, Letitia James, they're just trying to take his money. They're trying to take Trump Tower. They're trying to take his Trump hotels. They're trying to take Mar-a-Lago, which they're estimating at $18 million. That's a laughing joke. They're just trying to take it all away from him. They're trying to take him off the campaign trail, and they're trying to take freedom away from us. And this is where it all begins. It begins right here in New York City today for what may now be, in my opinion, the trial of the century. You have a former president who has never been heading to trial.
We are back here live at the Collect Pond Park, right in front of the courthouse where President Trump is in right now. As you can see, we'll pan the cameras a little bit. The crowd has really subsided from what it was earlier. We had a couple instigators in here that were very passionate, obviously, about what they believe. A lot of supporters in here as well. Still on the other side, where there's supposedly where the anti-Trump supporters were supposed to gather, there's really no one there. I want to thank our friends, all of our partners for today's broadcast. Obviously, if we do get remarks to come up that's planned from President Trump, we will break into coverage or break into covering that event. But we'll kind of like wrap it up here at Collect Pond Park. We do want to thank our partners that have made this possible. The Birch Gold Group is just that. If you simply want to invest in gold, silver, precious metals, you want to convert a traditional IRA into a gold-backed IRA, you can do that right easy. Text word Trump to 989898. Get that free information kit. They are A+ better rated with a Better Business Bureau. They'll send you the information kit, and you can make a decision on your own. That is the Birch Gold Group. Also, our friends over at Tax Network USA. It is April 15th. It is tax day. So if you hadn't paid your taxes in a year, 2 years, 10 years, if you owe $1,000, $10,000, our friends over at Tax Network USA can definitely help you out with that. Also, the wellness company, you know, the pandemics, a potential pandemic or any other harm that would be on our, in our society. You want to make sure you protect yourself and your family. The wellness company has that kit just for that. The information for that is on your screen. Quite honestly, could save your life. Then let's talk about an AnglePaste. What a great product. Let me tell you something. If you want to look younger, feel younger, of course, it all comes down with having a healthy body, healthy skin. AnglePaste information for that is on your screen. And do not forget about these key promo codes there. RSBN is a promo code for that. Plus, our newsletter is going to give you all that's happening in the world of politics. It gets delivered straight to your door. Just go to rsbnetwork.com. Click on the newsletter, sign up for it. Grace Saldana, our editor-in-chief, will get the news that you need to know right to your inbox. So go to rsbnetwork.com. And don't forget to donate at the website as well, because you can do that. We've got some great partners, but our biggest partner is you, the viewer. So go to our website, rsbnetwork.com/donate. You can be a one-time donation. You can do a reoccurring donation. It's all up to you. It's safe and secure, and we certainly appreciate your time on that. So as you can see, the crowd here has subsided considerably, but we're going to go ahead and monitor the situation here. Don't forget to follow us on social media, because whatever we come up with, whatever happens out here, I'm going to push out on social media on Right Side and myself at Brian Glenn TV. We'll do that as well. Plus, if there's any remarks that will come from the president today, I will bring those to you live as it happens. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms. And from New York, until next time, maybe later today, goodbye and God bless. Thanks for watching.
What's up, guys? My name is Jaden Hurd, and I have a Christian show called Let It Be Heard, where we analyze culture and current events from a biblical perspective. I highly recommend you guys check us out. We now have episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And basically, what happens is we react to videos, we have talking points, we have on guests, and it's very exciting. Come check us out on Rumble on the RSBN channel. God bless you guys.
I'm excited to announce we're having a huge MyPillow spring sale, and here's a few examples. Buy one of our MyPillow 2.0s, you get another MyPillow 2.0 absolutely free. Made with cooling technology, the best pillow ever just got even better. And this just in, 9 brand new colors and styles of our Percale bed sheets. They're made with the finest long staple cotton, and now you can save 50% or more. That's as low as $24.98. And for the first time this year, I'm bringing you our My Slippers and Sandals for as low as $25 a pair. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your MyPillow 2.0s. Buy one, get one free. Percale sheets as low as $24.98. My Slippers and Sandals as low as $25 a pair. And for a limited time, when you order $75 or more, your entire order ships absolutely free.
Welcome to the Right Side Broadcasting Network. We're not like the other media outlets out there that cut and edit what other people say. In 2015, we were created by our founder, Joe Seals, to cover President Donald J. Trump's speeches and rallies, to which we continue to do to this day. We've also covered important conservative events like CPAC, TPUSA, March for Life, and many other important events and hearings around the country. We were made for people like you, everyday Americans who are tired of the mainstream media, who are tired of being lied to, manipulated, and fed an agenda. Our goal here at Right Side Broadcasting is to allow you to see the truth, giving our correspondents and commentators a wide latitude to speak their minds. You won't find anything like this in the mainstream media. Your support through your donations, locals, and supporting our advertisers allows us to continue to cover important events around the country each and every day. So, from us here at Right Side Broadcasting, thank you for supporting us and the right side of history.